Hello, everybody out there. I'm Joey Petzel. Alongside me to my left is Matt Turek, and this is Brendan Pick. We are live streaming here from Frontier Lanes. Guys, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good. That time change was nice and refreshing this morning. How about you, Brendan?
I'm hanging in there. I got myself out of bed, so that's more than...
Yeah, so today, everyone, we are at Frontier Lanes. The pattern that these youth bowlers and adult bowlers are bowling on is the 2010 USBC Masters pattern. For those of you that don't know, it is 39 feet. Forward oil is 11 mils. Reverse is 13. Brendan, I know you watched the videos of the 2010 Masters. For righties and lefties that are here, where do you think they should be playing, especially on this pattern?
From what I saw early in the day, it was they looked to burn the track, and then as the show went on, they kind of moved out and either forced it up or hit a big friction zone somewhere outside of 8. So I would look for them to play pretty straight early and then watch the guys swing the entire lane as the day goes on.
It's going to be interesting to see out here. A lot of past bowlers who have been here. For instance, we have right in front of us Kyle Sherman, Riley Smith, guys who have been here before. Some who have won, Ben Houston Johnson, Mick Eaton, Armando. We have the first female winner here, Casey Gotel, who won the Handicap Division last month. So it's going to be another interesting shootout. We have, I believe, 8 or 9 bowlers in the Handicap today, and the remaining are in the Scratch. I believe there's 25, maybe 26 bowlers here. And they're pretty much all from around the area. Most people here are collegiate-wise. We have people from Linwood University in St. Charles, Linwood University in Belleville, McHenry University, and then we got people from out of the states, one from Panama. But most of these people here are local bowlers trying to come out here, earn some scholarship, or to make some cash if they're sanctioned as an adult. Right now, practice is still going on, so we're going to do the usual. Top 8 in the Scratch make cut, and we're going to make our predictions here. Brendan, since this is your first time on the live stream, we're going to give you a little what we do here. Usually every tournament, me and Matt, before competition starts, we pick who we feel like, well, we pick what we think the cut's going to be, like what that top 8 is going to be the cut of. So with it being the Masters pattern, I'm gonna go negative on this one, and I don't think that we've probably done that before, so I'm going to go with about negative. I'm going to go 44. 44 is my favorite number, and I always enjoy that.
For my pick, top 8, it is a hard pattern. You're going negative. I'm going to go negative 10.
Negative 10. Brendan, what do you... Are you gonna join us on the negative, or?
You know, I can't underestimate these guys out here, so I'm gonna go positive, but I will recognize it is a pretty tough pattern. So let's go with positive 10.
Positive 10. All right.
All right.
So I'm that guy that's saying the low is gonna be 44 under.
That's like The Price is Right. Where I'm negative 10. He could be negative 9.
You are the $1 Joey.
Oh, You know, the nice thing about this is I'm looking out here, like I said earlier, most of these people are collegiate, and it's nice to see this because next week, most of these bowlers that you will be seeing out here will be traveling either to Addison, Tennessee, Texas. We have the intercollegiate singles and team events that are coming up this weekend to see who will qualify for the, I believe it's X Bowling, that program. They'll be bowling for the team events and team and singles event in Reno. So most of these people are coming out here not only just for the tournament. This is like a practice to them, and especially with it being a tough pattern, definitely get them motivated and their mind focused, ready for when most of these people leave Thursday. Yeah, like I said earlier, we have 8, 9 handicap, and the rest are Scratch. For any of you that are listening right now, we will definitely be telling you throughout this whole tournament. Well, we're at Frontier Lanes. Our next MJT tournament is April 13th at St. Charles Lanes. It's on First Capitol Drive in St. Charles, Missouri.
They're always very great to us, aren't they?
Oh,
St.
yeah.
Charles, that's the home of Linwood Bowling, is it not?
They always do so much, especially there with college-wise and then even youth tournaments. there's a lot of youth stuff that's going on there, and that house does such a good job when it comes to running events. So we are really looking forward to getting everything set up and stream live there. So it's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. I'm looking forward to it. But if anyone is interested in reserving a spot for next month's MJT, you can reserve it ahead of time by paying online by using the PayPal. It's $25 to pay in advance to save your spot, and then the day of the tournament you pay another $25, so it's a total of $50. If you show up the day of the tournament, it's $55. So you can either pay it early on the PayPal, or you can even give it to the tournament owner, Ricky Masco, or if you run into me, Joey, just give me the 25 or give Ricky the 25, and we will reserve your spot on April 13th.
The best way really to do that is by PayPal, by paying in advance.
Yeah.
I mean, you're really saving money. You know, you can put that extra money into some brackets to earn an extra scholarship.
Yeah.
It's a really good deal to come in and pay early.
Yeah, you can pay cash. You can even use a credit card. We have a PayPal on site that we can swipe. So if you don't feel like taking out the money, we can always just take the credit card and get the money off that way too.
You know, Joey, I got to say that is just really convenient. I hate trying to swing by the bank like 15 minutes before I show up to the tournament.
I'm the same way, especially with that. But our featured pairs today, on the side of the screen you're watching right now, we have 11 and 12. And when we jump to our other screen, which is on the low end, it's lanes 3 and 4. So those are our featured pairs, but you can definitely see the pairs around them, see who's all bowling. And I'm actually enjoying this because compared to how the last tournament is, we have more handicap bowlers, and there's already more females from the last event that we had.
Yeah, that is true. I really like seeing all the handicap, like you were saying. It looks like handicap has expanded this event compared to last.
Yes.
That's good. You know, that's why Ricky added the handicap division was to attract more bowlers from a different skill set. You know, you don't have to be the super elite or collegiate talented bowlers to come out here and compete on a hard pattern. Anybody can come out here and try to earn some scholarship.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm gonna start coming around here and looking at favorites who I think you should probably be seeing up in the top all day, and there's 3 guys that are in front of me, which I can personally say are probably some of the best 3 bowlers on the collegiate level right now. Kyle Sherman, who bowls for Lindenwood, and then we got 2 McHenry bowlers, AJ Johnson and Riley Smith. I feel like those 3 boys you should be seeing at the top of the list pretty much throughout the whole tournament.
I really think you should watch out for Riley Smith.
Yeah, he's been...
And Kyle Sherman, of course, naturally. But I think Riley, being the fill behind Tiger between the 2, I think Riley's going to have a good day today.
Hey, what do you think, Brendan?
You know, I was actually just watching that pair, and I was thinking to myself, all 3 of those guys have actually finished in the top 16 at the Junior National Gold Tournaments, and to have them cross with each other and break down the lanes together, they could put up some big scores today.
Definitely.
I feel like the way that they'll be breaking this pair down, expect probably even just big pairs in front of us. If they're breaking the lanes down right, and most of them usually do, you'll be seeing some pretty high scores, especially on that pair.
Looks like practice is just about over here.
Our practice is wrapping up. We're going to get started here in a little bit. Like we said, our feature pairs are going to be lanes 3 and 4 and 11 and 12. And we're going to be doing a couple new things than we did last time. We'll still be adding the instant replay. We'll be getting that to you as soon as we can. But throughout our breaks, most of you usually would see a downtime where we see just empty lanes. But we're going to start actually throwing in some commercial for you guys, actually ball company commercials. We feel like it's something that we would enjoy, definitely get you guys some more entertainment so there's not a dead period where you're just sitting there listening to nothing. So we're going to try to do the best that we can. Like we said, every time we do this, it's an improvement for us. We're trying to add new things to make the viewing more clear and more better for you guys to enjoy, so that every time we do live stream, you come back, tune in, and see out of all these youth bowlers and adult bowlers, who's going to come out victorious. All right, bowlers are starting to hit the red keys. Lights are coming on as we are going to get started here. Right now, we don't have any names in front of us, so people that we know will be saying, some people we don't. We definitely apologize for that, but we're going to do everything we can to get out there. We will. We have a live stream chat up on the Ustream. Make an account if you need to. Shoot some messages. We'll try to talk to you guys. We just want to hear what you guys say. If there's any problems that do happen, let us know, and we'll try to fix that as soon as we can. That was a good shot on lane 12. But like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how this tournament plays out, especially with it being the 2010 Masters. And like you said, you pretty much watched, Brendan, you pretty much watched the video of Walter Ray bowling on this.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me what you thought about that, even though that was back in 2010.
Well, that was, for those of you who don't remember, that was the last year Walter just really kind of tore up the juniors tour. And for that particular show, Walter, well, I mean, when does Walter not just pipe it right at the outside? But for his 2 games, first against Ryan Simonelli and then against Chris Barnes, he proceeded to go 258 and then, struggled and only shot 290 in the title match to win his second Masters.
And nothing really big. Pretty much, but everyone knows how Walter plays. He plays more of a straight, but as a lefty, I feel like you have a better advantage on this because you can pretty much play up 8, and you can stay there all day compared to most of these right-handed bowlers where once it starts breaking down, you're going to have to start moving.
And if you actually take a look at the pattern, there's a little bit more hold room and a little bit more volume on the left-hand side. And then, that added to the less lane play a left-hander normally sees. If you see any lefties get locked in, they shouldn't have to move much at all today.
So we're just bringing up a new stream for you guys. We're going to go side by side here just so you can see the featured pairs.
Generally, there on the left is the Handicap Division. They're usually on the low end of the house. As you see, a great shot there by the youngster. Right side of your screen will be the Scratch Division. What's the skip procedure today, Joey?
I believe it's just the same as last time. What you move, right lane moves 1, left lane moves 1. So, I think what they're trying to do is at least get everyone on one pair on the live stream since we only have 16 lanes. But with the turnout we have, it's a little bit lower than we did last time, but there's still a lot of talent out here. That was
Great shot by
Ben.
Yeah.
The more I'm looking now, I'm guessing that my negative 44 ain't going to do anything.
We'll see how they break down.
Because right now on the fresh, there's a lot of big, definitely a lot of big numbers up there.
Looking at Riley Smith right here on lane 7. He seems to be playing the track inside. Man, that was a great shot for Riley. It was a little bit off your screen. He wasn't playing as straight up as I expected most of these bowlers to be playing.
Yeah, you would think most of especially on the right, especially most righties, you would think try to play as right as you can, work that fresh, but I'm looking around and most of the righties have already just jumped in instead of playing right. I feel like if I was out there trying to bowl, especially with how fast I throw it, I'd try to stay as straight as I can, try to keep it parallel, and then once the ball started checking, that's when I'd start making my move in.
Tell you guys what, you want to see a pretty good bowler throw it relatively straight if you guys can catch Tim Hyman on 5 and 6. He is pretty well known for going relatively straight, and he's already started 9 spare and just delivered a beautiful strike there.
Yeah, I've seen him bowl in the collegiate wise, so he can turn it on when it comes to it. Another bowler, especially to watch here, is junior Team USA bowler and Team USA bowler AJ Johnson, who bowls for McHenry. He's one of those guys that when you watch, you wanna definitely take some notes because he knows what he's doing, and it's looking very good. He throws the ball very smooth, and I wish I could throw it like him if I could.
He is having one heck of a season at it.
Oh yeah, expect him to. In collegiate wise, he is the top bowler, so expect him to beat out Marshall Kent and be Player of the Year. And when I mean Player of the Year, I mean he beat everyone out. I'm guessing I think it was by 7-8 pins in average. So that's a pretty good year. I wish I could do that, but I'm happy with my 204 average.
That's not too shabby, Joey.
As you see on the live stream, we got 3-4 and 11-12. There's a miss on 11 by Allen, Linwood University bowler. But this pattern is definitely playing very, very early. And kind of like what Matt said, it's going to be interesting to see what happens when this pattern actually breaks down, to see where everyone's going to be playing, how the shot's going to roll out. I really think that I'm hoping that the scores kind of drop, especially if I pick negative 44. That kind of sounds bad, but I always try to see if I can get close to what I picked, but from the way it looks, I'm guessing that it's not. As I know it's off screen, but Kyle Sherman in front of us, keeping it a little tight with a 4-pin, going 9 spare, 9 spare, and he's working on another 9. But the pair that he's on with AJ Johnson and Riley Smith, you looking at the guys that are on the stream right now, most of them are playing straight, and these guys are already in third arrow, even deeper, swinging the ball out to about 10, like I would say maybe 8, and they're definitely putting some pin action up.
Well, you know, for those of you watching at home, Spencer Robar down in the handicap division is looking to get off to a hot start here. He's about to be up on lane 4, looking to start with a nice little 4-bagger if he can get through one here.
And the two-handed lefty, hardly see any of those, especially at his age.
Yeah, look, he looks. I think it's awesome that he's out here, and he's the smallest kid here as he comes in a little high there. And he's got 3 in a row on this horribly tough pattern.
The smallest kid here, who's I'm guessing he's probably in the handicap.
Yeah.
If he's in scratch, then I'm
awesome.
picking him in my top 8.
Definitely. He's going to be my horse.
Well, and you know, he was always been a left-hander, but up until, I guess, about a year and a half ago, he used to throw a 2-handed backup ball.
Backup.
And it was quite a spectacle.
Okay, that would kind of be interesting to see, especially with how he throws. He throws it really good, especially at his age, and I really want to see that backup now. It's like I want to call him out and be like, hey, give me a backup shot. But yeah, we're here at Frontier Lanes. We're using lanes 1 through 16. There are 3 bowlers to a lane. Well, I should say on a pair, like not always. Let me rephrase that for you. I'm sorry. We have lanes 1 through 16. Some lanes have 3. We have one that has 2, one that's got, and then a couple that has 4. So I don't know how would I describe it. It's like I said, it's not a big turnout to where we had last time, but the amount of talent that is here is very good. And oh man, why couldn't I be that good when I was that young?
Why couldn't I be that good now?
Let's take a look. Is this Beasley? Is that his last name?
Beasley.
As he still though, I mean, I think it's awesome to see these kids out here competing on this pattern. Even if it is a handicap division, you can't take anything away from these guys. No. Anything at all.
Well, you look around, it's like you got guys in the handicap division as like easily, yeah, he might have missed that 10-pin, but right now on one of the hardest patterns, he's got an 84 in the 5th.
Yeah,
and
with some handicap.
With the handicap, and especially at that age, on a pattern like this, that's pretty good.
But you know, we say that, and when we were growing up, there was never really a push for kids that age to bowl on patterns like this. So it's really cool to see this handicap division and allow kids that age and of lower or heck the way they're bowling, even equal skill levels, to become experienced with this and grow into maybe some of these elite college bowlers that we have on the other side.
Think about how good they're going to be in 7 years.
Oh man!
You know, after bowling on something tough like this and getting the experience to learn in the mental game to keep their head together and bowl good scores on a tough pattern at their age, and then by the time they get to their college age.
Yeah, I didn't start bowling on like tough patterns like this until I was in high school. And these kids are doing it when they're middle school, sometimes even before that. And I think it's awesome because they always say the sport of bowling is dying. And I never say it is, because especially young kids like that are coming out here and they're showing us that, hey, they're going to do something later on in the future. And besides, I look at bowling as one of the fastest growing sports. Like most people look at it, it's like, oh, let's just go out there, have some, like, let's go bowling, have a couple drinks, have some fun. But most of us here, when we say let's try to go have fun bowling, we still come out and we compete competitively.
Yeah. These caliber bowlers, when they're having fun, it's not your Wednesday night men's league. Drink beer, play cards, smoke some I shouldn't even say that on the junior tournament. Forgive me. But,
I didn't hear anything.
But yeah, when these guys have fun, they want to go out and challenge themselves on a tough pattern like this, and to them that's fun, and to the high caliber bowlers, even you guys, Joey and Brendan in the booth here, that's fun. You know, and most league bowlers, they don't understand the difference between tough patterns and house patterns.
Yeah. It's funny because a lot of people that ask about the sport, they never understand how much it actually takes, like mental and physically, to bowl this. Like most people think, oh, you go out here bowl to have fun, but like when you bowl collegiate wise, there's so much that goes into everything, every shot. What's the pattern like? How is the ball going to react? What did I do wrong? How do I fix this? What ball change? Pretty much at the end of the day, it's like you're just tired. You're mentally and physically drained, and you're just. That's when it comes for like a good 3-hour nap, and boom, you're already for day 2. So looking around right now, we got a couple big scores. I know right in front of us right now, you can't see AJ Johnson has the front 4.
We might have a replay of this coming up here of his 5th shot. He's on lane number 8.
And then looking farther down, it looks like we have, I think, another one with the front 3. I don't know, it's maybe, I think they just split though. It's hard to tell. So we're definitely going to give you a shot of AJ's last shot. And it looked good from what it sounded. But yeah, right now, let's take a look at lane 4 as Casey Gotel is working on the 1-2-10. As most of you remember, if you watched, she won the Handicap Division last month at Kingpin Lanes, and she was the first female to do so. As we're going to take a look here at AJ Johnson's shot. So he's going to get set and ready.
Right here.
Definitely digging the white pants.
Yep. That adds like 10 pins your average, I heard. We should say that every event. Look at that messenger.
Flush.
That's awesome.
What a shot. What a shot. But yeah, like we were talking about the pair that we were, the lanes that we're breaking down with AJ, Riley, and Kyle. They're all putting up big scores. The only one that's really doing like really good is AJ, who has it from 5. Riley's got 106 in the 5th. Kyle can get a 97 in the 5th if he makes his 8th spare. So a lot of big, like most of the people that broke this lane down or are playing it right are putting up the big numbers. And I think expect big numbers on the fresh. But once the pattern starts breaking down for the people that make that transition, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to get left and pretty much play an area where you have to consistently hit it. Oh, what a 9-pin by Casey. Oh, that one looked good. It just came a little high.
And these handicap
Yeah,
bowlers.
these handicap bowlers are putting some of the scratch bowlers to shame.
I know. I was noticing that. We're gonna try and get a look at.
So I definitely want to see get some of the handicap bowlers, especially like Robarg, and then even Easley. Like Easley, after that 10-pin lift that you guys saw, he's got the next 4. So these handicap bowlers are coming out and they're putting some numbers up. And I don't think any of you guys just saw what we saw. Brad Slevich, as most of you remember from Kingpin, who had the front, who had that 278 game and boned an 8-pin.
Yeah. I still have that video.
He just came up in the 9th, on lane 9. Came a little high.
A little.
Tripped the 310. And when I mean trip, I mean like spun it in between.
Speaking of that, let's take a look at that 8-pin shot.
That was.
This was last event.
This was the last event here at Kingpin Lanes, where it was such a good ball, and then
You know, guys,
that was just
maybe that last carried strike was a little payback for that 8-pin.
You know, Brad finished pretty good last tournament, finishing 3rd at Kingpin, so he's definitely coming back. Talked with him beforehand. He is wanting to come back out and make the top 8 once again, but this time he wants to come out and win it. As here we go. We got Robarg coming up here in lane 3.
We actually we'll watch his shot here as he goes for the 1-3-6-10, and then we're gonna have a replay of how he left that. As you see, he's got a pretty good look there when he picks it. Here's a replay of his first shot. Two-handed lefty.
And he just got that one
Yeah,
left.
just got a little wide, but you know that's all right. It's all a learning experience.
Oh yeah. As AJ Johnson, who's still in front of us, has the front 6 now, working on the 7th frame. Dead flush.
Pure.
As you probably could catch that on the live. You probably caught that on the live stream.
Yeah, he was to the right of the screen there.
Just flush.
Going
literally.
back to the split screen.
In front of us here on lane 11 is Allen, working on a 10-pin. As most people always say that strikes are always important in this game, is I always think differently. I always say spares is the key to this game. You need to make your spares in order to do anything, like to put up big numbers. The strikes will come, and so will the runs, but it's all about staying clean, making those single pin spares, and then if you don't, it's just shake it off, come back, and get back on it.
And you know, guys, taking a look at 3 and 4, if these handicap bowlers finish it out, they're all going to average as a conglomerate over 200 just to start the tournament.
All three are
four,
handicap, and we have at least one that is a 4-string, which is Casey, and she comes a little high, as you saw there. She shoots 223 off the fresh, so that's pretty good. And then we got Robarg and
Easy's going to grind at a 2-0.
yeah, right on the nose. So for handicap, that's
outstanding.
that's very good.
Depending on how much he gets.
Well, I actually have it right in front of me.
Oh, do we?
He's got 51 pins handicap.
Oh, not 251 is not a bad start.
And then Spencer Robarg gets 26 pins handicap.
We'll go full screen here on Spence.
And then Casey gets 21 pins. So Casey technically shoots a 244 with the handicap.
Coming in just high. But trips out, gets a little lucky
carry
break.
right there.
Unfortunately, for those of you who didn't see it, AJ's streak was stopped at 7. He boned a pretty nice 9-pin there.
I didn't see it, but all I saw was his reaction. I'm picking 8. Like, I'm just looking around. I'm gonna definitely say AJ is probably gonna be the favorite in the especially in these 6 games of qualifying. Expect him to be pretty much at the top. Well, it'll be interesting to see what his next game is. If he can bounce back just the same, I don't think anyone's going to touch him. As Robarg comes in a little high again, leaves a 2-pin, but he finishes out with a 208. So that will give him, with the 26 pins handicap, I think it's 235 if my math is right, but I don't think it is.
Yeah.
I think it's 234. Riley Smith coming a little high, but gets a carry. Like big games are gonna be put up right in front of us. And it's hard to see because we're not we don't have the pair on there, but
AJ Smith, correct?
AJ Johnson.
Johnson.
Yes.
He left. What did he leave that last shot?
9-pin.
And that's what I thought it was, but I didn't want to say it. We're gonna get a replay here to see how he bounces back in the 9th frame. He's 279 max score if he strikes out. He's up in the 9th. So we'll be able to check out how he bounces off of his 9-pin here in just a second.
Yeah, on the what you see in front of you right now is Ben Houston Johnson, one of the Lindenwood bowlers from England, as he is stepping up in the 8th frame, working on 3 in a row, so he's trying to put a 4-bagger up, get that ham bone. As you see to the left of him also is Brad Sislevich, as you saw earlier, the one who left that beautiful 8-pin last time at Kingpin, as that went high, leaving, it looks like the 4-6-10.
And here's we'll watch Ben's next shot here. And then we'll have a replay of AJ to see how he bounced back after the 9-pin.
Flush.
Flush for Ben. Here's AJ's next shot. 9-pin to the left lane, right lane in the 8th frame. 279 next score if he can strike out, so let's see how he fared.
Yeah, it looked a little in off his hand, but gets the 8 count, spares it. So right now he's at 217 in the 8th, as he is right now the top guy out on the field.
Yeah, definitely.
But I know these handicap bowlers, they're gonna give him a run. Like 3 and 4, like yeah, it was out of the future pair was all handicap. All of them shot 200 or higher.
If you take a look down at the higher end, you have Austin Aud. I know he's won a couple of those PFCs in the area, but he's running on a nice little streak. And
yeah, I see that. It looks, what is that, front 5? No, the bat, well.
5 cents the third.
Yes. Looks like a 6-3 strike, 9 spare, and then the next 5 is he's up in the 9th. You'll see him up on the live pair. And we're probably going to be, it looks like we're going to get also a replay of the 9th frame that he has too. Another couple bowlers that are down there are Armando. He was he was one of the top bowlers who made the qualifying, who made the 8. So I'm afraid to say his last name because last time I said it,
Godoy?
I got, huh?
Is it Godoy?
I don't know, because last time I said it, I got yelled at by.
We were corrected multiple times by the bowling center. Apparently fans were calling the bowling center to correct us.
Oh my.
And I'm pretty sure that was mostly my fault. So I always just call him by his first name. It looks like in front of us, Kyle Sherman just leaving the 2-8-10. Definitely a battle for him this game. Definitely putting up the strikes and spares. But we're going to do a replay here of Austin's shot here going into the 9th frame. And we had 4 in a row after the 3rd frame. Definitely playing straight. I like that. Flat 10. I feel like that's the way I'd be playing it, though. I'd be playing it pretty much about 8. Probably with my mastermind, because with how much speed I have, I definitely need a ball that can get through this pattern. But I've always been taught straighter is greater. How would you play this, Brendan?
Well, I would probably also play it straight, but then again, if you watch me bowl, I really don't have many other choices. So.
I don't know, I feel like I'm on the same level as you are. I can't. When it comes to getting left, I can try it, but it's not my A game. If I can play parallel, I'll do whatever I can.
Yeah. From looking around here, it definitely looks like trying to figure out how to keep the friction in check. I've seen some just killer strikes, and then you look around and you have some smash 7s, some smash 9s, a couple of high check face shots. You know, we saw Brad down there had a little bit of a look, and then one got away from him and it just checked right off his hand. AJ misses a little bit in and it seems to take off, and even he has just a great look right now.
That was a great shot by AJ.
A good shot.
Getting that 4-pin out with the reverse messenger.
But like on the lane in front of us, Riley Smith putting up a 224 clean game. Kyle Sherman also puts a clean game up, 203, but the 11th shot was a 7 split. I don't know. How do you guys consider clean frames? Do you always consider it just the first? Do you do the first frame in the 10th, or do you
in the St. Louis Masters League, it was there was a clean pot every game, and you paid money regardless of whether you wanted to or not. And a clean game was all if you struck in the first frame of the 10th and then go 9 out, it was still a clean game.
Okay.
Yeah, the way I was taught was that if there's a mark in the frame, it's clean.
Exactly.
That's how I've always done it too. But I know there's a lot of people that say, "Oh, well, yeah, you might strike, but if you went 9 open, it's not clean because you still open."
But you know, if you're at the caliber where you're throwing clean games, do you really want to be throwing 9 outs to finish up the
Yeah,
game?
That's true.
That is true.
But an errant shot could cause that, and it would still be considered a clean game.
Yeah.
Yes.
By most people.
As AJ Johnson here finishing up right in front of us, working on the 12th ball. He's got a 237 in the 9th, and he's got a double. So 267 if he strikes, and indeed he does.
If I'm not mistaken, that was a ball change.
That was a ball change. Kind of came a little high and tripped out a 9-pin.
We're going to take a look at Ben's 10th frame down here. Looks like Handicap is done with their first game. They are moving pairs and writing score, so this is about the last action we have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after one, it looks like AJ will lead it, but if Ben can punch out here, he'll be right behind him with a nice 255 to start the day.
Yeah, we will be getting scores as soon as we can. The tournament director, Ricky Masco, is going to enter the scores and get everything to us as soon as he can. So once we find out everything, we'll get it to you. As you saw there, Ben getting a little flush right there, keeping his run going into the 10th. I feel like, especially on this pattern, you want to start strong on the fresh. And I feel like if you start strong, and once you run into those couple bad games, I don't see how it would hurt you. Especially if you're someone like AJ, Riley, or even, for instance, Austin or Ben. If they put up a big first game, you're definitely feeling comfortable if you throw a bad game coming up.
Yeah, it gives you some comfort zone and some comfort room. It just to know if you do throw a lower below 200 game that you're not completely out of the race.
Yeah.
That one just got away from Ben.
Yeah.
As you saw, Kareem, I believe that was. No, it wasn't. I was getting my people mixed up here.
But you know, that is nice that we have so many women bowling the tournament that you actually
A lot
mixed
more
up.
than what we had last time. As I definitely I enjoy seeing that, because if we can get more females to turn out, then I think it's more opportunity for other women who hear about this or are watching can come out and bowl these events.
Yeah, definitely. So we're in between games here now. Game 1 is in the books. We're gonna plug a little IQ Tour Fusion for you guys while we're waiting for the next game to start. So enjoy Norm Duke.
They're the best because they make bowling balls. They don't make pins, they don't make machines or lanes or all the other stuff. They can focus all of their energy on the bowling balls. And because they do that, they produce the very best bowling balls on the market.
Oh, there you have it, Norm Duke, the greatest bowling balls in the market. Storm, you know, they're doing something right with all the equipment that they're putting out. Everybody's buying it.
Definitely putting some big collegiate teams up there too.
Yeah.
I know, for instance, McHenry's up there, but you know, with being from Linwood, I gotta respect and represent the B.
Oh, the B.
I love the B though.
I am wearing it as well. I do have a full Brunswick lineup right now that I'm throwing.
Oh, if it makes you feel good, I've been throwing Brunswick since my freshman year in high school, so 8 years strong.
So you know what's up then.
Pretty much, most people, it's like, oh, have you heard of like the new IQ or like some other company? It's like, is it Brunswick? No. Well, I don't know it.
I tell you what, I love what Storm's doing, but my favorite ball ever made came from Brunswick. And if you're not aware, it was a Golden Rhino Pro.
Oh.
You know what's funny? Ronnie Fujita on our Linwood University still has a gold rhino.
Wow.
And
That's impressive.
He'll pull that out and play it with that at practice.
I love it.
Right, so we're going to head back down to the handicap as they're getting started here under game number 2.
So on our feature pair, you can still see Casey Gotel up on lanes 2. In front of you have Katie Eltridge, and Ty Sexton is also up on that lane. And looking down, it looks like Brad Sislevich is going to be jumping on the feature pair down on 11 and 12. But expect the bowlers that we were talking about earlier on 7 and 8 to start coming up on the live stream. Kyle Sherman right now up on 5 and 6. He'll be coming on the live stream next. And then Riley Smith and AJ Johnson will be on 11 and 12, also game 3. So I feel like game 3 is going to be something that we're going to be talking about, especially with the split screen having up with those type of bowlers.
So I don't know who drew the crossings here, but with Riley and AJ together, there's a...
I feel like you're going to see I feel well with both of them being McHenry bowlers, and they both feed off each other, especially collegiate-wise. I know we've all pretty much seen it if you bowled against them. They work together, and I'm pretty sure you'll see them. You'll see them pretty much right behind each other. I don't see how. I'm pretty sure right now they're actually 1 and 2. If we look at the standings, whenever we get them.
Now, for those that are watching at home or are going to come back and watch this later, explain to the people who don't really know why it's beneficial to bowl with someone that you vibe with and play the same part of the lane.
Personally, I when I bowled collegiate-wise, my sophomore year, and when we took third, losing to Weber, who turned out to be the national champions, the group of guys that I bowled with, we all got along, we all fed off each other, and when you have a group of guys or just a person that you can feed off of, it changes everything. I know, for instance...
And you mean like the mental game of bowling.
Like the mental game. Like when you come back, you know that there's a guy right behind you who's going to get hyped up and who's going to try to come out and do the same thing. I know Ray Spink was someone that I also did that with. His freshman year, which was also my sophomore year still, he was that guy that I would come out, I would strike, he'd be right behind me, we'd get loud, he'd come up, and he'd go out and do the same thing. When you do something like that, there's the 3 other guys that are bowling, that are following that get hyped up. It's like, oh, sweet, we got 2 guys up there with a double. Now we're going to get into it. And then there's the guys on the benches that do the same thing.
Yeah, it is definitely a positive when you're matched up with somebody that you know and you trust. If for no other reason than you just have an extra set of eyes, it's if you feel uncomfortable or you feel yourself slipping, even in single events like this, not only do they know each other, but I know they're good friends, and they will definitely help each other out of. I mean, clearly they're not struggling, but if that ever was going to happen, I know they'd be there.
What's the benefit now of having 2 bowlers that are vibing off each other mentally play the same part of the lane on a tough pattern?
Oh, it's huge. It's definitely big, because once everything starts breaking down, I'll tell you this, you try the shot, and if it works, let me know, and if it doesn't, then let me know, and I'll make a little bit move, and if it's there, then we found our line.
Yeah. And that's the true essence of team bowling, would you say?
Oh, absolutely. That's when you'll start seeing those big scores put up.
I think, yeah, physically speaking, and then just the mentality of when you're bowling for someone else, that pressure is lifted off of you, and you're not necessarily, oh, I'm in this to win for me, so this is all self-centered. Even though this is a singles format, you can kind of carry some of that mentality of, we're actually having fun and we're bowling together, and it definitely increases score and just, the overall attitude on the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm looking at the handicap division. Right now we have 8 handicap bowlers out of 26 bowlers. Still not that bad. I'm not sure of the format for that. I don't know if they will take all 8. But from what Ricky Masco says, you need 16 to at least cut to the top 8. So I'm pretty sure we'll do the same format as last time for the handicap. It's probably going to be the top 4 bowlers will advance. And then 4 versus 3, 3 versus 2, 2 versus 1. And for the scratch division, the top 8 bowlers will advance. And then it'll be 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, and a 2-game match. And then the winner of that will be seeded from where they are. And we'll get more into that once it gets closer. But you saw right there on lane 11, Brad Slevich, a 7-10. I'm telling you, that kid just really can't catch a break. Michaela Douglas, though, I was just given here, shot a 242. Top female out there. She's going to put up some numbers. Actually, if you think about it right now, she is second high, and she's actually one of the scratch bowlers. I like that. I like seeing the female bowlers come out, especially in the scratch division, and show up pretty much the whole field, besides AJ.
I mean, these aren't just girl bowlers. These are some really quality female bowlers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely, they can put some numbers up when they need to, and they're very, very talented. But like besides her, there's other bowlers, female bowlers such as Abby Nix, Kayla Shimmer, Katie Eltridge, Casey Gotel, and then Kareem Liebert. Though that's pretty much the whole females. That's pretty much all the females here that are bowling, including Michaela.
What pair is Michaela on this game?
I believe
She on the end?
she is.
Pretty far down there.
I think she's down there at the end. I'm not positive though.
In the white?
No, she's in the black actually. She's
okay.
She's all the way down at the end.
Okay. Okay, we're about to get. Oh wow.
Yeah.
You guys missed that on the live stream. You might have seen the pin carry, but not the shot itself of AJ's 10 pin. We're gonna try and get an instant replay of AJ Rice, who's bowling on the same pair.
AJ Rice? Who's AJ Rice?
Is it AJ Rice? I don't know.
AJ Johnson.
Isn't AJ Rice a football player?
I don't know. You might be thinking of Jerry Rice.
I'm just gonna stick to clicking cameras, gentlemen.
A miss there on that 10 pin for AJ. You hardly see that. But I'm looking on the pair in front of us right now, 5 and 6. It's Kyle Sherman versus Easley, I believe, Austin Easley, and they're tied through 4. As we were saying earlier, Austin is one of the handicap bowlers. I really think these handicap bowlers are gonna shoot higher than they're expecting. And I'm interested to see though how it's gonna work in the transition, but right now they're coming out strong on the fresh. As you see, Bratislevich there on lane 12 with a beautiful shot. As Kareen Lever over on 2, missing right, leaving the 1-2-4. As it looks like we're going to have a replay here coming up of, I believe, Riley Smith. Yes, it is. So Riley was in the 4th frame here, working on a 7-1 on off a split. That was in. Gets a carry. Ty Sexton on lane 4 gets a strike. On lane 11 is Jared Joseph, lefty from New York. Most people at Lindenwood call him Jeter. Huge Yankees fan. But very disappointed when he found out the news that Jeter was playing his last season. So I'll tell you this though, I might be from Chicago and I might be a Cubs fan. I don't know why I chose to go to school in St. Louis, but I'm gonna get tickets for when Jeter comes to Wrigley for the last time.
Yeah, I imagine he's gonna get one of those ovations at every park he goes to.
Absolutely.
For being one of the best players in the game.
It's gonna be like Mariano Rivera all over again.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, even if you're slightly spiteful towards the Yankees, you can't not respect what Jeter's done
Not
in
at
his
all.
career.
Yeah.
This here's Bratislevich. Didn't like the shot. Ugh. What is that? The 3-4-6-10. Now, if you look on the stream on the right, you see split,
I was just gonna say
split, and then there was a split farther down before the rack took it. Me being a bowler, I don't bowl when that happens. Maybe it's just me because I'm always afraid that I'm going to continue and I'm going to get a split.
All right, guys, we got a good look at how Kyle Sherman is playing this pattern right now.
Kyle Sherman, one of the bowlers. Looks like he's throwing a mastermind genius. Very good ball.
Might have to buy one.
Wow, he's playing in. I don't
like it was better.
I like that.
What are some of the accomplishments of Kyle? From what I understand, he's a very accomplished bowler.
Kyle's collegiately wise is pretty much very good. As most people know, last year he was runner-up for Rookie of the Year. He was the top average in rookie. I do feel like he deserved to get it, but they went based off of tier 1s and he got out-snagged by Kyle
Yeah.
King.
Did
but-
you actually see that with both of the bowlers in contention for Rookie of the Year being named Kyle? There was actually a flub on one of the awards. They
Really?
put the wrong name on one of the awards.
But yeah, Kyle right now, eighth in the nation for collegiate wise, averaging 215, as the top dog is AJ Johnson, averaging 222.
And that's in the nation.
That's in the nation.
And both of those bowlers are here bowling in this event right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't see how AJ's not gonna. AJ's definitely gonna be Player of the Year.
Both of them beat Aaron Lorenz, who's made a couple of PBA telecasts, has he not?
Yeah, I believe he has actually.
Yeah.
I know he's made at least one. Can you imagine the feeling that you would have of out-averaging that on tougher? I mean, some would argue that college patterns are tougher than PBA patterns. Would you guys agree or disagree there?
Personally, I've never bowled on the PBA tour. PBA tours. I kind of want to after college, just to experience it. 'Cause I definitely want to continue bowling after college, so I'm hoping I can do so and try to get on with some type of company and go from there. But I think collegiate is definitely harder, because the only reason I say so is you're making that transition from high school bowling or youth bowling, where you just bowl on house shots, and then you come to collegiate wise, and it's a totally different game where the shots are tougher, longer, shorter, different volumes. You don't learn all this until you get to college,
Yeah.
or if you start bowling like leagues that put out sports shots, or you actually start bowling in tournaments like the MJT here.
Oh yeah, I think just to elaborate on that, with the PBA patterns, with the level of competition out there on the PBA, no matter what shot you put out there, those guys just find a way to break it down correctly. When you get into college, they some of the tournament directors there like to put out just whatever they felt like making up that day, and there's no real way to play it. It's just kind of trying to figure out how to trap the pocket or stay in it somehow, and that added to the fact that there's a couple hundred bowlers in the building and they're all playing it a different way to try to figure it out, only makes it that much more difficult.
I was just handed standings here from Ricky Masco. There are 17 scratch bowlers and there are 9 handicap bowlers. Top, what a surprise, top scratch bowler AJ Johnson, 267. Second place Ryan Patterson, 247. Third place Ben Houston Johnston, 243. Michaela Douglas, 242. Ben Pallardy, 231. And 6th is Austin Aud, 226. 7th place Riley Smith at 224. And 8th place is Armando with a 207. Right behind him by 4 pins is Kyle Sherman at 203. And then the next is 10th, but which is Brad Sislevich with a 180. So right there, that's a 23 pin difference between 9th and 8th, but we're not really going to focus on that until we start getting into the 4th and 5th game. That's when we'll start focusing on that. But over to the handicap division, top bowler right now is Austin Easley. With the handicap, he's got 251. Second place is Casey Gotel, 244. Third place is Spencer Robarg at 234. And then 4th place is with Landon Richards with 226. As Ty Sexton is 5th with a 207.
And Joey, it's still early, but I'm feeling pretty confident in my positive.
The more I'm looking at that, I think you're probably going to be right. I think we're going to be wrong on that,
Yeah,
going negative.
We're all going to look like chumps.
Well, hold on. Right now, the +7 is 8th after 1. And my negative 44 is already going to be out the window. I don't see that being anywhere near the cut.
If it does make you feel any better, it looks like for the majority, scores have actually dropped since the fresh.
We're actually, we'll show the replay of that. We got here Spencer Robarg.
He had 4 in a row. The two-handed lefty. Sorry for the choppiness. Coming in just a little high. Still a great shot, though.
Oh, yeah. Especially for him. He's throwing it really good. Looking around, I'm not really seeing any big scores. The only person I see is Kyle Sherman, who's right in front of us. goes double, 9 spare, strikes, 7 spare in the 5th, and then has the next 4 into the 9th. But I'm looking at like AJ Johnson, Riley Smith, who came off
big
huge games, and maybe it's just because how the lane's broken down.
Yeah. They
Because
just kind of hit a rough. Maybe they're hitting a rough pair.
maybe because right
And-
now
and
Riley
move on.
Smith has got a 97 in the 7th with a 6 split 2, and AJ Johnson has a 95 in the 6 working on a 7 spare. So maybe it's just how the lane, like you said, maybe it's how the lanes were broken down. It's just who knows how they broke it down or played it out there.
Well, you know, we were mentioning left-handers have a pretty nice look. There is a lefty over on lane 11 and 12 that if he finishes this one out, he has a 240 left on the board with 2 frames to go.
Yes, that is Jared Joseph, the lefty from Lindenwood. I'm always going to call him Jeter, even when I'm out of college. As we're looking up on lane 3 right now, Ty Sexton, as you saw in the clip there too, Kyle Sherman.
Yeah, we're gonna have a replay
We'll
of
have
his shot.
That was a beautiful shot, but here's Ty up on lane 3. Definitely playing it tight and keeping it straight, and it's working. As he puts a double up, working in the first ball in the 10th. If he punches out, he will have 200 on the nose.
In between, we'll look at Kyle Sherman.
Around the guys who put big games up, I don't see anything out of them. Is it Riley Smith not putting anything big? AJ's kind of struggling. Austin Odd is having a little bit of trouble. Ben Pallardy, pretty much the guys that are up in the top. I don't know about anyone else, but it definitely looks like the pattern, even after game 1, is definitely making it challenging for bowlers here. Kyle coming a little light, leaving the 2-4-10 on his last shot. Here's Ty again up on lane 3.
10.
Looks like a flat 10. Yep.
There's a two-handed lefty. I like, get that 7 out. Oh, it's all right.
Coming up on 11 is Austin Odd, who is currently 6th after game 1. As he tugged that and gets the carry. You know, as a bowler, you definitely got to enjoy that. When you throw a bad shot and then you get the break. I'll take that anytime I can.
Yeah, that definitely offers a little sense of momentum and try to build on that and you get back going.
Katie Eltridge going Brooklyn, leaving the 9-pin. As you saw in lane 12, Brad Sislevich going Brooklyn, but he gets all 10.
Riley caving in the 7-10.
Riley tripping the 7-10. Like pretty much what you said, caving it in.
Caving it in. My favorite new term I heard a couple weeks ago, instead of going off the sheet, they kept telling me to go off the screen.
Welcome to the digital age, my friend.
You know, they're like, go off the screen.
Off the screen.
I'm like, what? You mean off the sheet? And now I use it all. I want to use it all the time. Off the screen.
Off the screen. I don't know if I will. I think I'm just used to saying off the sheet.
Right.
I'm sure the new generation coming up doesn't even remember that they used to keep score.
Exactly.
by hand.
Yeah.
There
Exactly.
was an actual bowling alley back home for me when I was younger that I bowled youth tournaments. It was a 8-10. I think it was a 10-lane house, but it was an old house to where if you were bowling on 3 and 4, your ball return would be on 5 and 6.
There's an 8-lane house here in St. Louis, Epiphany Lanes. They have above ground ball returns, and there's 3 ball returns for 8 lanes.
I think that's
Is that right, Brendan? Is that how it is? I think it is.
That
Yeah.
sounds about what the one at home is, but it was fun because you had to keep score. It was nothing electronic, so there would be someone sitting down keeping all the scores.
We'll take a look real quick at Casey Gotel.
Yes.
Her last shot. She's down on 1-2. It's kind of hard to see off the live stream, but we'll take a look here at her last shot.
Looks like she's playing more straight up 8.
Oh, right.
Go to wrap 10. Here's Jared Joseph. I keep wanting to say Jeter. I was about to say Jeter Joseph. one of the few lefties here, as he looks like a light 7-pin, as that gets off his streak of 3 in a row. From the way it looks, he's going to put a big game up. Kyle Sherman in front of us put up 245. I don't really see that many big scores.
No, Riley and AJ look like they're just grinding this one out. I think they finally found something, though.
Yeah, we're going to get a good look here at Riley's next shot.
Jared Joseph right now has, if he makes this 9 spare, he's got a 205 in the 9th, which indeed he does. He gets it. So even if he keeps on, gets the 5 count, that's a 220 game. That's, I believe he was 11th. Yeah, he shot 179. So this is going to get him plus, and that's going to put him right back. That's going to put him right up there, possibly into the top 8.
Good shot for Riley. We're going to get a second look at that from a little bit better angle.
Here's Jared coming up in the 12th. And that kicks out the 7-pin. So 225.
Here's a better look at Riley's last shot from right behind the shoulder. Great looking
That was
ball.
a good shot. So
As you can see up again now, he's on his next ball. Can he repeat 6-pin?
coming a little high, but definitely like kind of what you said, Brendan, grinding that game out, especially him and AJ.
Yeah, and I use that term, but I see it a lot in college. It's not necessarily, I mean, it's great when you feel comfortable and you can throw those 250s and 260s, but what really separates some of these better bowlers is that when they don't have what they're looking for, when they don't feel comfortable, they can still find a way to get to that 180, 190 and move on to the next lane.
Yeah. Well, Riley Smith went 224, and even with that 178, definitely working. Still going to keep him plus and everything.
There was actions winding down here. We're going to throw another plug. This is a plug for the Rotogrip Asylum. Hope you guys enjoy.
Asylum, one of my favorites. Good early motion through the mids, and then good continuation. Really good control ball. Great for the tougher patterns, and really universal.
Okay. While we were away, whoa, sorry
That
about that.
that was pretty loud.
While we were away, Mick Eaton down there had a string going, and it looks like he went. We'll just take a look at what he went after that. How many did he have in a row? So about 6 in a row, or 5 in a row.
So we'll pull that up for you. Here we go.
Five in a row, I believe. And we'll see where he's playing. It looks like that was a pretty good shot.
Looks like he's kind of playing more straight up 10.
And then
From the looks of it.
that was okay. That was, I was told, for his 6th strike. Here is now first in a row. Looks like he might have got that inside. Yeah, definitely inside.
Leaving the 3-6-10.
All right. So there you have it. So that was game number 2 is wrapped up.
Now this is going to be some interesting live pair matches. Because on 3 and 4, we have Kyle Sherman. And then down on 11-12 is A.J. Johnson and Riley Smith.
Yep.
But there's definitely a lot of other good bowlers that are bowling out here. With them, Ryan Patterson, who is up on lane 3, who was currently second after the second game. He's bowling on that lane. And I'm trying to see who else is also bowling with him. Actually, it looks like on 11-12 it's going to be a McHenry live stream, because it looks like Armando is going to be jumping on with them. Or maybe I'm wrong.
Looks like Corrine Lieber is going to be on 3 and 4's featured pair also this game.
She was one of the female bowlers at Kingpin that gave a lot of people a run. She started off the first game, though, with a 162. Not sure how she did her second game, but once we get the standings, we'll definitely let all you know. Anybody that's watching, if you know someone here that's bowling and you want to ask how they're doing, we have the standing sheets in front of us. We can tell you where they're at, if they're plus, minus.
Yeah, go ahead, throw it up in the chat. I mean, if you're watching here on the Ustream channel, there is a chat. Feel free to chat it up. We'll be happy to answer your questions or let you know how anything is going. We do want to welcome all of our viewers this morning. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching, again, coverage here of the Midwestern Junior Tournament stop at Frontier Lanes.
For people that also just tuned in, they are bowling on the 39-foot pattern of the 2010 USBC Masters. So we're saying that I said that scores are going to be pretty low.
I think so too.
They started off pretty strong. Everyone in the top 8 that would make plus for scratch is plus. Same with the handicap. But game 2 really made a struggle for most bowlers. Only for a couple that really made a jump. But you see most of the guys that are up in the top definitely had a hard time getting up in there.
Well, Joey, your all McHenry 11 and 12 has been interrupted by the two-hander from Lindenwood.
Ben Pallardy. I thought Armando was jumping on there, but it looks like he's going to be coming on. All right, Corrine Lieber here coming up on lane 4. As you saw Kyle leaving that 7-pin on lane 3. She misses. Kind of coming a little light, leaving the bucket. As we're looking down, I'm looking down here at 11 and 12. Riley Smith leaving the 6-10. I don't know. I'm definitely starting to feel like scores are going to drop, because there's a couple good bowlers here that can pull out some numbers, but there's really haven't been anything like eye pleasing. It's like, whoa, big game. Besides AJ's first game.
Yeah, we haven't received scores yet, but I think after 2, if you're right around plus or pretty close to that line, you should be in good shape as of now.
Well, Kyle Sherman and Jared Joseph were the only ones that I really saw that put up a decent game. I think they were both 220. So Kyle right now is 9th. I don't see how he's not going to jump up into the top 8 now. And Jared Joseph, I should say, was 11th. He was at 179. That put him plus. So he might jump back up in there. So we'll find out once scores are put in and given to us. As Armando on lane 12. Beautiful ball. Here's Kyle Sherman up on lane 4. Beautiful shot. Gives him a strike in the 3rd frame. As Ryan Patterson up on that pair has the front 3, while Corrine Liebert goes 7 spare 7-2 as she's up on lane 3. comes up light again,
Yeah,
leaving the 2-5.
Kareen's ball looks like it's just kind of not quite reading as strong as it normally does. I bowled several events with her, and she can definitely strike with the boys.
Oh yeah, I feel like she either needs to try to make a ball change to something a little bit more aggressive, or she needs to move right and let the ball still roll how it is.
Completely agree.
So here's Ben Pallardy up on lane 11, coming high. Oh, I'm glad we got that. Tripping the 610.
To ruin the McHenry party.
I have a feeling that pair is going to put some big games if they can feed off each other, especially how we were saying the McHenry boys. If they can all feed off each other, I think they'll put up some numbers. But even Ben Pallardy, he's one of those kids I know for Lindenwood. If someone's putting up a big game, he's going to find out where they're playing, and with how he throws it, he'll make that adjustment to do so. In front of us is Alan Holting. He puts up a strike, and he's on a 279 pace through 3 frames.
The frame before, he just stoned an 8-pin.
Oh, that's one of those things where it's just like it takes the wind out of you. As you see, Kyle Sherman up on lane 3. As he's going to keep that run going. That's a double up into the 4th. There's Riley Smith coming up on lane 11. In front of us is the little Austin Easley. Right now, first in the handicap division.
He's not putting up such little scores.
You got that right.
You can say that again. One of the few youngsters here who's showing up some of the big guns. I want to look at this. We had 9 guys go plus, so 8 were under 200, and there was 3 handicap bowlers that went plus. So they just told the other 9 guys, hey, what are you doing? Yeah, Alan definitely has a good look. I know you guys don't see it, but he'll be on the feature pair. Well, he'll be on 5 and 6, so he'll be just off the feature pair, but he'll be on it as he put up a double. And that's when you look back at that 8-pin. It's like, oh, well, that could have been a turkey. That could be extra 10 pins right there.
Yeah, 8 pins are awful for that. Really, any tap,
Oh, yeah.
it takes a great mental game to move on and not look back and say, oh, that cost me this, oh, that cost me that, and instead say, you know what, I threw a good shot. Let's move on and keep doing what we're doing.
Korean Lieber over there on lane 4 with the 8 spare.
We're gonna have a good look at Austin Easley's last shot, being the leader in the handicap division. He might have hit a rough pair. He's got 1 strike on that pair so far. So let's see.
1 strike, but he is clean through 4 frames.
Yeah. So let's see now. In 5 comes in just
Definitely came a little high.
Just a little high. Not much.
And he chops it. It's Kyle Sherman up on 4. Definitely getting that light carry again. He's got 3. As up on lane 11 is Ben Pallardy. One of the few, I believe there's 2 handicap two-handers in this tournament. He goes through the face in Greek churches. As I'm just handed new standings. Start off with the Scratch Division. In first place is Ryan Patterson. He is actually on the live pair right now on lanes 3 and 4. He's in first with a pin total of 542. Kyle Sherman is second with 448. AJ Johnson third, 435. Ben Pallardy is fourth, 434. Ben Houston Johnson with 421. In 6th place is Michaela Douglas, 414. 7th place is Mick Eaton at 411. And rounding out the top 8 is Jared Joseph at 404. 4 pins behind him in 9th is Riley Smith. 6 pins back is Armando. And Austin Aud is the next closest at 11th with 393. Bratislava is then 12th at 370. So the scratch is starting to, it's still staying plus, but as you saw, the guys that put up the numbers are have jumped either higher or jumped into the top 8. Towards the handicap division, Austin Easley still leads after 2 games with a pin total of 466. That's including the handicap. Casey Gotel, who was last month's MJT winner in the handicap division, is second at 446, and she's in a 2-way tie actually with the two-hander Spencer Robarg, also at 446. In 4th place is Landon Richard, 431, and 5th place is Ty Sexton at 413. Listening to these scores and seeing everyone bowling, do you feel like how do you feel these results, Brendan?
Yeah, it looked like there must have just been a big transition out there in the second game that, you know, the guys who were playing in who scored well, from what I can at least see, it looked like they finally at the end of their didn't really move out, but just kind of more squared up. And I mean, they looked to be performing a little better this game, but clearly there was a big transition from game 1 to game 2.
Oh yeah, and you can definitely see it made a toll on some of the bowlers, as Riley Smith and even Armando. Well, 3 bowlers that were in the top 8 have dropped out of the top 8, which was Riley, Armando, and Austin. All 3 of them actually made the drop.
So I've got a pretty cool sheet here from game number 2. I'm seeing 5 bowlers out of the entire field
That went plus.
plus.
And who was the high? Kyle Sherman, 245.
Yeah. That's interesting.
That's interesting. That is very interesting. 5 bowlers out of the whole field. 26. So out of the 26 bowlers, 5 going plus. That's just showing you how big that transition from game 1 to game 2 is. But maybe it's going to be like this today. It looks like the odd games right now, a lot of big games are being put right back up. You can see some on the live pair, and then there's even some all around us that are putting up the numbers. So you see AJ Johnson right now getting prepared on lane 11. Kareen Lieber actually going for the 5-10. Only gets the 5. Almost kicks out that 7 though. But AJ Johnson here is going to get set. As you saw Tim Hyman there on lane 10, leaving a 10 pin.
Yeah, Tim is pretty well known for his 10 pins.
So for most of you that don't know, actually, Tim and Brendan here are teammates at Linwood Belleville. Oh, AJ, even with the messengers, couldn't get out that 10 pin. It was Austin Aud. Coming a little high, leaving the 3 pin. Not liking that off his hand. It's kind of hard to see. Mick Eaton, though, on lane 1 and 2. Definitely, I don't know, you could have probably caught that on the screen, leaving a 10 pin. But AJ Johnson's going to step up to try to convert his 10 pin. A lot of 10 pins.
Wow. Did you guys see that 4 pin for Kyle there on lane 4?
No, I did not.
He had, it looked to be about the 4-7-10, and then the 10 crumbled, the 7 crumbled, and the 4 almost fell.
So he gets that Kyle Sherman carry.
Yeah, but I mean, he's making a run. He's got 8 spare, 9 spare, 4 bagger, and then the 4 pin through 7 frames.
I think he'll give people a run for his money. With especially being one of the top collegiate bowlers, especially in the top 10.
Oh yeah.
He should be one of someone who's giving everyone a run. There's a good shot there by Donald Lee up on lane 6. He'll be on the feature pair coming up next game. One of the few lefties here at the tournament. one of the other lefties, Jared Joseph, up on lane 9. What is that? The 3, 5, 9, 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lefty spares are always
Ooh.
hard for me to read out. They just sound so odd to me.
I just, that in general, even if that's a right-handed one, that's kind of just came a little light. The ball reaction didn't really read that well. But Korean Lieber there, leaving the 7-pin. As here is Armando up on lane 11, playing up the ditch, and a 10-pin. I feel like the way people play this, the straighter, if you miss right, it's just going to stay right. I feel like you don't have that. There's nothing that's going to like make it jump. And maybe it's just from how the lane is played out with how the oil is set up, but if you get that thing out, if you play that thing, if you're playing up the ditch and you miss right, you're in some trouble right there.
Yeah, I see the same thing. Though the way the pattern plays, that for the left-handers, especially those trying to go straighter, there is a little bit more volume on that left-hand side. So if they pull it, it doesn't take off as much as if the right-handers do. And that's well, he opened in the 5th, but Mr. Joseph, Mr. Jeter there, following the 230, still looks to be off to a pretty good start this game. And you know, I'm going to go on a ledge and say that he makes our top 8.
I can see it. I feel like he might be one of the few lefties that make it. On lane 3 and 4, we have Kyle Sherman and Ryan Patterson, who are 1 and 2. Ryan actually sitting first right now, puts a double up in the 8th with a 139 in the 6th. As Kyle, though, has a 168 in the 7th working on a strike. So I feel like there's going to be a little competition. And I know they're both crossing, but it's I feel like this live pair right now, this featured pairs, have some of the good bowlers, like the best bowlers that are here.
Best bowlers not only here, almost in the country. They're some definitely high caliber players.
I know Riley Smith is one of the top bowlers. I think he's in the top 50.
I'm sure he is.
I'm sure he is. Well, I think in order to be in the top 50 in the nation, you have to at least average 207, I think it was. Because I finished off 204, I believe, and I was 83rd.
Even if he's not.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to say I made top 100.
Even if he's not, I was at a couple of tournaments where Riley pulled all tournament teams, and
yeah, as you saw right there in the 7th range, striking, giving him a 138 in the 6th.
And, you know, I really like the way you just mentioned Ryan Patterson down on 3 and 4. He's playing almost up the back of the ball, high ball speed, just trying to get it up through the track with a relatively aggressive. He's got the new IQ Fusion in his hand, and it looks really good.
Oh yeah.
We get a good look at AJ on the right, and then it'll be Kyle Sherman on the left. Kyle is trying to put up a good number. He's currently sitting 2nd after 2 games, I believe.
Yes. AJ sitting 3rd. And then Ryan Patterson is going to be coming up on lane 3. And he's sitting 1st. As there's Ben Pallardy on lane 12, converting the 3-6-10 as Kyle puts another one up on the board.
That's a big game going.
Puts a double going into the 10th, a possible 259 or 258, I believe.
That genius is making him look like a genius right now. He's
So I love my genius, and I love my mastermind. I actually love Brunswick. As there's Ryan Patterson up on lane 3.
Great shot.
Another good shot.
Great
that
shot.
high ball speed, getting it through the lane.
If he punches out, we got 259. Kyle punches out, we got 258, just on lane 3 and 4 itself.
Yeah.
As Ben Pallardy on lane 11 leaves the 10-pin. Definitely some better scores out of Riley and AJ down on 11 and 12. Armando going for the 2-8-10. Oh, no, that was Tim. Armando is actually going for the 3-6 and converts it cleanly.
Yeah, Tim's in kind of an odd zone, because if he misses right at all, like you were mentioning, he's in kind of that stuck zone where it doesn't quite finish. He's leaving 2 pins, 2 8-10s, and then if he misses left at all, it's just jumping on him, and he's leaving some just odd stuff that even the best of us will have a hard time picking.
Yeah, for being a bowler, I know especially for me, I hate the feeling when you start the first game off and you feel like you have a line, but if you miss right, it doesn't come up. If you miss left, it jumps. Being a bowler and having that happen, it's just one of those feelings. It's to me, you struggle and it takes everything out of you. It makes it more of a challenge to pull out a decent game when if you can't consistently make the same shot, there's going to be different reactions every time.
Oh yeah, if you're out there and you feel like you have what I call the world, and where you feel like you could throw it anywhere and still execute a decent shot, you actually tend to more often hit what you're looking at and you're more relaxed. Whereas if you feel like you have to be perfect, you're much less likely to be so. And I completely understand that flustered feeling of if I don't hit the dime 50 feet away from my feet right now, there's just no way I'm going to strike.
Yeah.
So there's a battle going down here on 3 and 4 guys.
Between Kyle and Ryan?
Yeah, it's a tight race. Kyle just struck first on the 10th. Ryan's up now, first ball on the 10th on 4, as you see him on the screen. As he comes in. Oh, wow. Wow.
I'm going to say this. He got that Philip Meyer carry. Philip Meyer surprisingly isn't here today. Probably something came up, but he won the last MJT. And in the 11, he needed the strike the first two. No, he needed to strike the first two. And the first ball he comes up goes Brooklyn
to carry. And
Brooklyn
you
to
should have
carry.
seen Kyle's reaction. We're going to get good over-the-shoulder look here of one of their shots here. Kyle needs this to stay in the game.
And it's interesting because like the difference between these guys really isn't that much.
Oh, he got it out to the right.
That was a 6 count. Here comes Ryan Patterson.
Yeah. He one here will put him away. He might be away already. What is he going to have? 16, 59?
He got that one right too.
Oh, wow.
That was a 2-8.
You know, it's funny you mentioned Phillips' victory last tournament, and I gotta ask, after you throw that Brooklyn, after you get away with that lucky strike in that situation, how hard is it to step up there and throw a good shot?
I could tell you a story actually. My sophomore year at the Orange and Black tournament in Ohio, I came out, actually I believe it was my junior year, and we were bowling our B team and I was on the C team at the time, and they punched out and I needed to double. The first ball I come up, I go through the face. I tripped the 4, 6, 7 to where the 7 hit the 4 and the 4 double bounced and took out the 6. But when you look at something like that, you have to make the adjustment. It's like, okay, that ball came high. Now let's make a 3 and 2 or a 2 and 1. And if you execute the same, you should be there.
Kyle Sherman 243. Ryan Patterson 247.
That's
And that was a tie race. Came all the way down to the second ball of the 10th for both players. They both struck first ball of the 10th. It was going to be a one-pin match if they both struck out, and Kyle came in light, as you saw on the screen.
We actually have down on lane 1 right now, Mick Eaton's going into the 10th, working on a 265 game actually. He had the front 3, 7 spare, 9 spare, next 4. As Mick actually was bowled at Kingpin last month, was the number 1 seed going into the roll-off, and unfortunately lost to, I believe it was, I'm trying to remember what his name was.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank myself. We're going to get good look at Mick Eaton's shot here coming up. This is the first ball in the 10th for him.
Yeah, so if you watch the screen, he'll definitely be on the left.
Yeah, he's on lane 1 right now.
That one going left.
Oh, wow. Did it look like he pulled it? I couldn't see it from here.
It looked like he didn't like it off his hand.
Let's take a better look at it.
Korean Lieber on 4, coming a little high, leaving the 4-pin. Ben Pallardy up on lane 11, leaving another Greek church. That's his second of the game now, as he can only shoot a 160.
Here's a better look at it. It came in light, or I'm sorry if he tugged it.
Yeah, he didn't, like I
Yeah,
said, he
that
didn't
was
like it off
left.
his hand.
That was left.
As he misses it, actually.
Wow.
Ugh. But 230 on the nose. That's one of the top scores right now. It's definitely third, as Ryan and Kyle both pulling out 240s. Looking down at the feature pair, down on 11-12, Ben Pallardy finishes off with 2 splits in the 9th and 10th to finish with a 164.
As we have a balk there.
That's a $500 fine.
All runners advance. So Riley Smith steps up.
Working
on
on
12.
Yeah, working on a strike in the 9th with a 178 in the 8th. A big improvement from last game.
Yeah, and Riley's just outside that top 8 right now, so he isn't in a dire situation, but I'm sure he wants to climb back in.
Gets a strike. So that's going to put him over a 200 game right there. So that's going to help. Here comes Armando up on lane 11. Had a 8-1 in the 9th, so he's at 165. Punch out for 195 if he does so. Doesn't like it off the hand. I'm guessing this house is very easy for Brooklands. You take him. If I can get it, I'll take it.
Take it.
If you're gonna throw a Brooklyn, make it a trip 9.
Just whatever you do, make it look fancy.
Yeah.
As Riley comes back up, leaves a 4-pin. As you see Austin Odd here on lane 10.
Brooklyn
He goes
again.
Brooklyn.
Make it a trip 9.
Make it a trip. As here Armando goes Brooklyn once again, but leaves a 3-pin this time. So if he spares this is a 185 game for him. Still not that bad.
227 there for Mr. Smith.
Riley with the 227. Okay. That should bounce him into the top.
AJ, what does AJ have here?
AJ right now it looks like the 6th frame has 114 with 3 in a row.
Okay, up in the 10th.
If AJ
Yes.
finishes this out, he'll finish up with a 234.
Great score there. He's sitting 3rd after 2 games.
Yeah, and AJ really ended up struggling in that second game. The first game he put up a 267, and then he dropped 99 pins to a 168. So I'm sure he's very happy to get back on the strike train there.
Looked like he carried them all there.
Oh yes. How many pins was he under that second game?
He almost joined the Century Club.
Almost joined the Century Club.
It looks like we have a question here in the chat. Tina wants to know, the May tournament is going to be an all-ages event.
Yes.
Is that true? Do you know what are the specifics on that?
I believe it's May 18th, or it was May. I think so.
We'll try to get Ricky in here too to answer that.
Ricky knows more about it, but it's an all-age tournament where it's not going to be just a 21 and under tournament. There's going to be people like adults that can come down and bowl this. And personally, I'm going to be interested to broadcast it. I might bowl it because I've always wanted to bowl one of the MJTs, but personally, I like sitting back, broadcasting, watching everyone bowl here. As there's Jared Joseph up on lane 10, putting up a double in the first ball in the 10th. But yeah, we will definitely find out more information for you, Tina. Whenever we get a chance, we'll talk with Ricky and find out what tournament the all-age tournament is, and we'll give you more information. As Jared gets looks like a 7-pin. As we're going to take a little break as everyone's wrapping up. We're going to show you a little video here. All right. Well, I guess the video is not gonna play any audio for us. But that was a video for the melee, which was from the Brunswick line. Very good ball. I have one. I definitely enjoy it. But I prefer definitely one of the masterminds. We'll do you'll probably see a video of that. We have the genius. We'll show you. But we're gonna get going on here to the feature pair coming up. We're gonna bring you to the split screen. As you see on lanes 3 and 4, Mick Eaton's on there. One of the lefties, Donald Lee, who is going to be a future Linwood bowler. He will be bowling there. Down on lanes 11 and 12, Emily Heinz is going to be on the feature pair. And I believe Abby Nix, two of the handicap bowlers, are going to be down there now. As off the screen in front of us, we have Ryan Patterson, who's going to be on 5 and 6. Austin Aud, who's also right now in contention, up on 7 and 8. As he actually comes up in the 6th. Comes up on lane 8 and gets that 4-pin out. Another person that's going to be bowling in front of us is Jared Joseph, especially after that big game he just put up. Definitely making his way back up into the top. And then also who's going to be on the live pair in 3 and 4 is Michaela Douglas, as she is one of the few females that is sitting up in the top 10. She's actually sitting 6th with a total of 414.
I caught a couple of her shots last game, and she throws a really nice ball.
Yeah, so we'll pull up the bigger screens for you guys to see how she throws. As you saw, it's him, Hyman, up on lane 11, leaving that 10-pin. Definitely got a little bit of a crowd here, people watching, mostly mom and dads coming out. And then we got some house bowlers down in the end watching. So if you guys feel interested, if you're around the area, come out the Frontier lanes. We will be here bowling. If any of you want to know, it's in O'Fallon, Missouri. But that's where we are broadcasting live from. But anyone interested, April 13th is our next MJT event. And this is located at St. Charles Lanes on First Capitol Drive, which is right actually by the campus of Linwood University. The reserve your spot is $25 in advance. You can do it PayPal online, or you can pay $25 cash. And I believe you can also do it check. I'm not positive about that. We'll find out more. But personally, if you can do cash, which is $25. You can either give it to Ricky Masco, the tournament director, myself, Joey Petzold, or if you want to, if you do run into Ricky, you want to pay by credit card, he has one of the PayPals with him on all times, so he will be able to save your entry that way. So it's better to reserve your spot. It's $50 if you do, $55 the day of if you walk in. I always say, especially as a college student, $5 can definitely save me a little meal at McDonald's.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I will take a $5 bill any day of the week.
Oh yeah. As we're here, we're starting game 4. It's gonna be interesting to see scores. Don't know how. There's definitely some big ones. A lot better from game 2.
All right, Joey, you got to call it. Game 1 was relatively high scoring, then we bounced down to game 2, and the field struggled. Back up at game 3. Where's it going game 4?
I think it's probably. I'm gonna go with it's gonna either stay the same or it's gonna go up.
So you're not seeing like a field average of 120 this game?
I don't see any. I don't see a low field average now. Like I said, I'm now starting to regret that negative 44 because I really thought that the pattern would play a little bit more challenging, but I am wrong.
It looks like the changes here are going to be large, though. When it breaks, it's breaking big. I have seen a couple of the straighter guys kind of figure it out. You know, the guys who are scoring, Mick and Austin, and there's a handful of them. Ryan just really forcing it up the track area, almost a little outside. And then you have your Kyle Shermans and your AJ Johnsons who get a handful of it and are able to move a little left off of that.
Yeah. So as you saw on lane 4, I know it was a little bit ago, it was Mick Eaton getting a strike. Coming up right now is actually Michaela. She is working on an 8 spare going into the second, leaving the baby split. She actually throws it pretty smooth.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've seen her before. I'm not sure if she bowls for a collegiate team that I just.
I think actually she will be bowling for Lindenwood next year. I believe she's actually from the Washington area. Because
Not
she's
a bad acquisition.
not really bad. There's actually, you think about it, I look at bowling, like if you compare it from all around the area, like all around the U.S., I always look at bowling as pretty big. West Coast is pretty huge. A little bit on the East Coast, I don't know. I haven't
Up
really
in
heard
New
of
York?
anything. Yeah, like up there. But I feel like the Midwest, though, is definitely dominant when it comes to like hosting tournaments, running tournaments. So maybe it's just me. Do you feel like
No,
there's a
yeah,
difference?
there's a. I have some friends through collegiate bowling. I know there's a really quality program up in Wisconsin area, and then St. Louis is really becoming a mecca for that high school and college. You know, we have two honestly really elite collegiate teams in McHenry and Lindenwood. We have a growing program at Lindenwood Belleville, and then we have a couple of other schools in the area, you know, Missouri Baptist, and there's a couple of other schools that are fielding teams and looking to grow. But with three teams that are at one point in the season have been ranked in the top 25 in collegiate bowling, and two of them that are, you know, almost slated to guaranteed go to nationals, we're getting talent not just from our area but from all over the United States and heck all over the world
I was
pooling
gonna
into
say
the area.
even out of the
Yeah.
world, because I know we have a couple guys from Mexico, Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, and some of them are actually PAPCOM medalists. So a lot of talent is coming to those schools, and it's going to be interesting to expect a lot of big things from these schools later on down the road. Like you'll see McHenry. A lot of people will join them because I know a lot of kids these days love to throw storm, and that's a big reason why I know most people who bowl in Illinois. Like you look at Illinois, there's a couple big schools that are in there. McHenry is one of them. Robert Morris of Chicago is the other one. Other than that, there's a couple that could probably have.
Moorhead's pretty good.
Is Moorhead from Illinois though?
Oh, no, I was talking about Storm.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Illinois. I mean, Lindenwood Belleville's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
I had to rep my own school there a little bit.
As you saw there, Ben Pallardy up on lane 10 with the strike. As Michaela throwing a strike on lane 3, man, she throws it really smooth.
But you know, you were saying about these college teams growing, and it's very interesting to see the effect on the area, because you have these great bowlers from all over coming to our area, and they're bowling, you know, these tournaments and other tournaments, and the youth bowlers from this area are learning from those players, and they're becoming better as well.
As we're about halfway through game 4, looking around, there's a couple big games. Definitely down in the end, there's a 290 pace going. On the high end, nothing really, but I don't know. It's still early in these games, but I feel like the way these lanes are playing, especially as you saw here in front of us, Jared Joseph. I feel like if you throw it harder than you expect, the ball's not going to read. And that's where I think I get to that OB where if you miss right, it's not going to come up either. As you saw, Donald lead there on lane 4, one of the few lefties here. Definitely getting a strike. Coming up on 5, you see just off the screen is Allen leaving the baby split.
Yeah, Austin's odd just bowled in front of us, and you were mentioning, you know, if you get a tad fast, it just does not react, and I definitely saw that on his last shot.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like as a bowler, I know for me, it's definitely it's a disappointment because I've always had speed. I have more speed than I do hand, and if I keep doing something like that, then I make that move And then next thing you know, the ball comes high, and then that's when you start getting into a mental problem where you're like, oh, do I slow down the ball speed? Do I make a move with my feet? Make a move with my mark? There's a lot that goes into it, and I think it's if you can overcome it.
And you know, as we were talking about that transition from house to sport, and as you enter college, I remember there was a good bowler on my team by the name of Michael Hottie, and our saying in high school was, when in doubt, throw it harder. Because on a house shot, that's all you have to do. If it's hooking, you don't move, you don't make a ball change, you just gun up, man up, and throw it harder. But you do that here, and you're going to lose ball reaction, you're going to confuse yourself, and eventually when you decide to move, you'll be very far behind.
Yeah. As Donald Lee comes up on lane 3, going Brooklyn and puts the double up on the board for him. Definitely a confidence boost. But who do you feel like? I know we have game 2. We'll probably be getting game 3 sometime soon. But just looking at, let's say we get rid of Riley, Armando, and Austin, because we pretty much know that they're going to be in a hunt in contention here. Out of the remaining 6 bowlers, who do you feel can make a run to the top 8?
All right, give me a sec to look at these.
That's perfectly fine. As you see coming up right now on lane 11, we got, I believe, Kayla Shimmer. She is bowling in the handicap division. She is in 6th place right now after game 2.
All right, I have made my choice here.
Okay.
From the outside looking in, I'm going to butcher his last name, and he's such a nice guy, but Brad
Sislevich.
But no, his high ball speed just to get it through the front, and I mean, we remember from last tournament at Kingpin, he can definitely strike, and you know, we're not even halfway through, so.
I definitely agree with you on that one. Another person I could possibly see, I would say Donald Lee. And it's actually on the feature pair on lanes 3 and 4. He will be actually coming up the bowl on lane 4, as you will see in a little bit. He's right below Brad. I think they'll give him a run, but it's hard to tell because everyone else below that is just, unless they start putting up some big games, then we'll see something. But the scores are just, the guys who are up in the top 8 are starting to put up some games while everyone down there needs to. They're not doing bad. It's just they're not getting the scores that they want.
Yeah, if they're going to jump, they need to do it soon. It's looking like 8 right now is still kind of hovering around that, plus line, maybe a little higher. But as these guys figure it out, and with the caliber of players we have, I think they will. If you're going to catch up, you need to do it quickly.
I actually just watched Austin Odd's shot on lane 7, and I really enjoyed. I like where he's playing, and he's throwing it very good. And when I mean good, I mean he's playing straight up 10. Like, the only way I can describe it is he hits 10, and it breaks at 10. He's playing it very parallel.
Yeah, and I actually caught Austin's shot on 8, and it looked like he got it right, but it still came back, which is a motion that a couple of bowlers out there haven't been able to find, that get it right and it still flip over.
Okay. We're going to have a replay here of Justin Schleiger. I believe that's his last name. We're going to get a replay of his last shot. He was actually one of the guys I watched Kingpin who he put some speed on it, but man, can he throw it pretty good. Coming a little high, leaving the 3-6. As we got Tim Hyman coming up on lane 11. Definitely swinging it a little bit. Coming high, leaving the 4-pin. As I'm starting to look now at I'm looking at Ryan Patterson and Kyle Sherman. And I'm looking at from where they are right now, their last game. Ryan Patterson just went 7, split 2 in the 8th for a 132 right now. And Kyle is at a 121 in the 7th, going up in the 9th, working on a strike. So I feel like it's just if you put up a big game, that's it.
Yeah, if if you can find something, it looks like they're scoring, and then it just out of nowhere just kind of jumps and trying to figure it out as a change. I know Ryan's last shot on 6, I saw him make a move left and try to tighten up his angle and let it out a little bit. And
Yeah.
try to get the flip over instead of playing that, straight up the lane, and it just did not finish for him.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking down at the higher end. It looks like Riley Smith went split spare, split gutter, and I believe he's got the next 4 in a row. So he's looking to put up another big game. Austin Odd in front of us has 3 in a row going into the 10th. He could pull out a 230 game out of this. And then other than that, there's really not that. Let me rephrase that. Ben Pallardy could shoot 248 if he punches out, as he's got a 168 in the 7th.
Oh, great spare by Katie Eldridge.
That was a very nice spare. It's kind of hard to see. You could have saw it on the live pair on the left side. Armando leaving a beautiful 10-pin. Same with Allen. Kyle Sherman down on lane 2, making a 10 spare. We're with a 141 now in the 8th. So he can shoot a 191. As Ryan Patterson, I believe, can shoot just a little bit better than him. About a 192. Actually, 1 pin better.
Pin. Those two have been right at each other all day.
Yeah. Austin Odd getting a little bit of looks like a light 7. And we're gonna get a replay coming up here of one of Riley Smith's last shot. He's getting set up. This is working on 4 in a row.
Joey, it's not as low as I was joking, but it does kind of look like it's back down from game 3.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he definitely kept that shot in. It's me, like I said, maybe it's just me, but like I said, the scores are they're everywhere now.
Up, down,
Up, down, up, down. As Austin Odd missing the 7 pin in this 10th frame with the 199. That's still not bad.
Oh, Ryan Patterson rolling a light 2 pin on lane 6 for a double.
Oh man, that was. You see that look he came back with? He just did one of those. I guess I'll take it looks.
And Jeter up on lane 7 looking to grind out another 200 game.
Comes up light, gets the first one. So Jared Josephs puts up a double going into the 10th, as he's going to pull out another 200 game. I feel like he's going to make the top 8, I think, because he's one of the only. I feel like he's in the scratch division the best lefty out there right now. When I say if I say best lefty, he could be, but personally, I also think Spencer Robarg is also giving him a challenge too.
Yeah, Spencer is definitely good, and I don't know if you're familiar with the JBC gateways in the area, but Spencer was actually the youngest person ever to win a gateway.
Really?
Yeah, he ran in a field over at Scott Air Force Base over in Illinois and averaged almost 200 for an entire 20 games and beat kids, almost twice his age. And
yeah, I've only bowled one gateway, and that was the big guy, little guy last year. And I thought I was going to do it this year, but I'm graduating from Linwood in May, and we walk May 17th, and that's when the big guy, little guy is, so I wouldn't be able to do that.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. I'm a little disappointed, though, that I'm not able to bowl that, because I really had a fun time bowling it last year. There's Tim Hyman. Beautiful shot, putting up a strike in the 7th frame with a 115 in the 6th now.
I do wish they ran a format like that, but on a more difficult pattern like we put out here on the MJT.
Oh, yeah. I'll say this, watching and being a part of gateways, it's all house shot. Like, yeah, it gives all the little kids some experience, like some enjoyment and some fun, but I think they need to kind of make it a little bit of a challenge too, because I'm not bashing or saying anything wrong with the MJT. I think it's a very good program and an organization. They get a huge turnout every time. It would just be nice to start seeing more sports shot patterns added to youth tournaments for like this, and even the PFC that are held at St. Charles. I feel like those are giving kids the opportunity to get prepared for the collegiate level.
And honestly, I think it's coming. Sport shot it's just kind of a revolution that, the pros have always bowled on these sport patterns. Whether or not you call them sport patterns, doesn't really make any difference. But, this age, this motion of just sport patterns, this motion of making bowling difficult again and making it a sport is something that's just taken over, I know, my generation.
We're going to bring you another company commercial coming up. So most everyone here is wrapping up. So we'll be pretty much right back here in a little bit.
Introducing the new Mastermind Genius from Brunswick. Hi, I'm Billy O, Brunswick Bowling's product and marketing manager for consumer products. The new Honor Roll Hybrid Reactive Cover Stock is Brunswick's newest creation based off our performance-enhancing additive chemistry technology. Honor Roll Hybrid Cover Stock offers more length, improved versatility, and stronger back-end reaction.
A few months ago, Brunswick came out with the Mastermind. The Mastermind has been terrific. It's done extremely well in a lot of big tournaments, and we're very happy with the bowling ball. This ball goes coast to coast. It can recover from just about anywhere. Now we have the Mastermind Genius. The two balls together complement each other so well. If you have the Mastermind or the Mastermind Genius in your hand, you're going to do just fine. As you're watching the cones, the reason for the cones is for you to see where the ball is at the arrows and where the ball is at the break point. Now, watching the bowling balls, you'll notice the ones that hook more, they'll be further away from the first cone on the inside and further away from the second cone on the outside and end up in the same place. So it shows you how much more one ball is hooking compared to another, but neither one of them hooks early, which is the really important part.
Be smart, get a Genius, and it's gonna blow your mind. When the lanes start breaking down and you need to move in a little bit more, you can go to the Genius and it'll allow you to swing it a little bit to the right, get it through the heads, and then still recover and hit the pins hard. You don't have to throw the ball perfect each time to strike. Even though you might miss it a little left, a little right, just don't get at the bottom of the swing, it's still going to recover and go through the pins and hit really hard.
The Mastermind Genius produces easy length through the heads, securing traction in the mid lane with unsurpassed back-end flip, providing an incredibly powerful ball motion on medium to heavy oil lane conditions.
One thing consistent with the Mastermind series of bowling balls is the cover technology. We put a really big, strong cover on the original Mastermind, and we just basically tweaked that cover into the Genius to give it a little bit more length and a little bit more down lane motion. If you're a bowler with a lot of speed and a little bit lower rev, the Mastermind series of bowling balls is going to be a great go-to for you.
Intelligent versatility, brilliant back end, mind-blowing pin carry. This ball is a stroke of genius. Thank you for considering Brunswick the leader in bowling technology.
As that was a nice preview of the Mastermind Genius.
Yeah, I was just sitting here thinking of their tagline from Joey, Brunswick. I have one.
I have one. I have a lot. So I definitely enjoy it. 8 years throwing it, I'm not complaining whatsoever. I should probably thank my coach Tom Carter for that. I know he's a actual Brunswick staff member, so I have to thank him on having him throw Brunswick.
Here we got a good look here at Mick Eaton's last shot.
From the way it looks like he can shoot 200 if he does. Oh, he kept that one in. That actually looked pretty good. That was a beautiful shot, actually. Puts actually a double up in the 10th with a 9 count in the last ball with a 210. So interesting to see, as you see Brendan behind me showing his muscles on the
Sorry, I
camera.
was cheering for a friend of mine who was struggling.
But for anyone tuning in, we are just wrapping up Game 4. We are live here at Frontier Lanes in O'Fallon, Missouri. I'm Joey Petzel. This is Brendan Pigg. Just a little bit ago, you saw Matt Turek. We will pretty much be behind the booth all day. This is the Midwestern Juniors Tournament. They are bowling on the 39-foot pattern of the 2010 USBC Masters. And scores are up and down, high, low, each and every other game. We're going to bring you back to the feature pair here. As lanes 3 and 4 is on your left, and lanes 11 and 12. Both of them are starting to wrap up here in the 10th. As we were just saying, Eden, who just finished up on lane 4 with the 210, and then down on 11 and 12. Not really that many big scores, but there is still a possible 200, it looks like. But we're still waiting on standings from Game 3, so whenever we get those, we will give them back to you.
And you know, Joey, I was just sitting here thinking, while scores aren't necessarily low, I don't believe there's been anyone to bowl par or higher every game.
That is technically that I have to agree with you on that, because I haven't seen anyone really do so.
Kyle had it the first 3, but then the last game he struggled a little bit, and I think he punched out down there for a 170 or 180.
And I know Jared Joseph started off struggling, but now he's bounced back with a couple, I think 3 200s now, so he's kind of getting into that groove. We'll see if he can continue it into Game 5. Definitely be a big help for him. And then I actually think Austin Odd, he's I think we can put him in that category of bouncing up. Actually, the more I'm thinking about it, started off good, had a bad game, came back with another good game, finished off with a 199 last game, but he's not the only one in the field that's doing it. There's pretty much the whole field is. Like most of the guys that are bouncing around, let's say the top 11, top 12, they'll put that big game up, come back with a bad game, put an okay game up, and then they'll either do good or about the same.
Yeah, it's kind of a combo of who can get the highest high and then who can get the highest low. It's not striking when it's out there, and then when it's not, it's just not giving any away. I know I've looked around today, and it was actually surprising for the level of these bowlers I know that we have, and I just saw it down on lane 12 with Tim Hyman missing a 10-pin, but there have just been a lot of silly single-pin misses, and I don't know if that's just because of some weird friction spots or a little bit of frustration, that accompanies going from that 250 to the 150, and I just had a look, where did it go?
Yeah.
And now you're just giving away pins, and it's getting even worse.
Right in front of us, as you see on the live pair, up on lane 3 is Alan Holting, I believe that's how you say his last name. Alongside with him is Justin Sliger.
And Justin whips it down there. He has some ball speed.
And then also on 3 and 4 is Ben Houston Johnson. He's up on lane 3. He's going to be up on lane 4 coming up.
A little bit of international flavor there.
Oh, yeah. Actually, walking in the building, we have Philip Meyer, last month's MJT winner. So he is in the building. But
he probably fell behind with that hour rollback.
It definitely took an effect on us setting all this stuff up last night. Nothing better than laying down and at 1:50 setting your alarm saying that you have about 3 hours of sleep.
And then realizing it's only 2.
On the lanes in front of us that are kind of just off the camera, up on lane 5 right now is Jared Joseph. Mick Eden's also on there, followed by Austin Odd, and actually Michaela Douglas. So that's actually a pretty good pair to watch. Actually, I can even say the same thing with lane 7. We have Kareem Lieber, Ryan Patterson, Ben Pallardy, and Armando. Definitely a good pair right in front of us. I know that's kind of hard to see off the screen, but we'll find out who's coming up on the live pair down there, because they're just starting to wrap up everything and switch lanes.
Ryan has made a jump inside.
All right, so after 2 games, I'm interested to see when we get Game 3 standings. It's 52 over. What do you think first place is going to be after 6? Do you think that we'll get to a triple-digit first place?
At the end of 6 or
at the
now?
At the end of 6.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do. I actually think, the top 2 or 3 might get there. If they can line up, there's a couple of players that can get there really easily.
Oh, wow. Ryan Patterson actually just made the 3-9-10. Made that look easy. I wish I could make it look easy, but I can't.
Are we done with 3 or 4
With what?
games?
We are on game 5 right now.
Okay. So we're done with 4.
We're done with 4.
I was being thrown off.
It's okay. It's definitely moving pretty quick. Usually the qualifying rounds move through fast, but when we start getting to the roll-offs, that's when we have to start getting everything set up, getting cameras moved, lane assignments set up. That's when most of this time starts to take into effect. As you saw, Donald Lee on lane 2 going Brooklyn getting the strike is Mick Eden leaving a 10-pin. As the expression on his face pretty much says it all. It's just one of those ouch.
Yeah, I've left 1 or 2 or 1,000 of those.
I left about a baker's dozen. As Jared Joseph up on lane 6 leaving a 6-pin. I definitely being, I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm a mass comm major. I enjoy broadcasting, especially working on the radio at school and all that. I enjoy sitting back, watching bowling, but I really enjoy broadcasting it. And maybe it's just how I am.
I'm definitely having fun in here. I broadcasted once before with Mike Flanagan when he was getting the IB Open and IB site off the ground for the first time, but that was probably 3 or 4 years ago, and this is my first time. But I don't think it's only exclusive to mass comm majors, because I'm an accounting major, and you know I
you
love
sound pretty good.
Yeah, the numbers and the stats, and that's anybody who knows me outside of this knows I can tell you a bunch of random facts about people you've never heard of, and looking around. There was probably only 2 or 3 people in the building I didn't know, and I'll never forget them now.
Yeah, the nice thing about this is, like, when I was first asked to do the broadcasting for the MJT, I was really excited. But at the same time, I was kind of nervous because I really didn't know that many youth bowlers. But now it's to the point where I walk in, and there's people I know not from collegiate-wise, but also youth bowling that I see around the area. So it's getting to the point now where it's like, I know everyone, I'm starting to get to know everyone, and it's nice to see them come back out, keep returning to try to come back and win some scholarship money. As up on lane 4 right now is Ben Houston Johnson. He's definitely playing in, keeping it tight, going Brooklyn with a 9 count, but
if you're going to make it Brooklyn, you got to trip those 9s, Ben. Come on.
Yeah.
Austin Dodd stepping up. You might catch him out of the corner of your eye in lane 5. Looking to start with the turkey here in game 5.
Kind of definitely changing the lane. Well, it looked like he kept that in, leaving the 3-9. Because from earlier he was playing more strip 10 unless the lanes are starting to break down. As Ben Pallardy right in front of us puts up a turkey.
Ooh.
As you see on the live pair right now in lane 11, that's Austin Easley. And after 2 games, he was the top individual right now in the handicap division. So whenever we get those scores, we will definitely get them to you.
You know, great shot there by Ben. I believe he's the only 2-hander in our scratch division, and I think as the lanes break down, they've been falling more into his hands. If I'm not mistaken, he just put up a 230, and quality bowler for Lindenwood.
Oh yeah, Ben is he's one of the top 10 that's actually going to be going the sectionals with us, and very versatile, especially with 2-handed. I think he's one of those bowlers that's very good when he plays straight up, and then if he needs to when it comes to getting inside and slowing it down, he can definitely do that also. To where I can play straight up, but once I start making it, I really gotta slow my ball speed down and see if I can actually hit the ball for once.
But you know, I really think that's the important thing coming from 2-handed bowlers is, you know, a lot of these kids come out there and they see the form and then they want to say, oh, I want to hook the entire lane. But what the bowlers that are really dominating are these 2-handers who not only learn how to hook it, they learn how to play the game straight, and they learn how to play these different angles and be versatile with that two-handed approach. And guys who can do that are very dangerous.
We got a replay here. Kyle Sherman. As you see, he's up on lane 16. So he's at the low end, the high end, so it's really hard for us to see down there. Oh, get that 4-pin out. Throwing that Mastermind Genius. Coming up right now on lane 3 is Ben. Looks like he left a 5-7, only converting the 5-pin though. As Austin easily converting his 9 spare and 12. As we got the other two-hander, Spencer Robarg. Definitely gets that strike. Man, that I really enjoy that kid, watching that kid. As you see on lane 10, Abby Nix. Coming Brooklyn, leaving the 3-pin, but she'll take that. Coming up on lane 3 is Alan Holting. He right now towards the bottom of the sheet, but looking to get back into this. Playing with the Mastermind, playing it really tight and throwing it hard, getting the strike. Really good shot, actually. As it looks like Spencer Robarg going up for another shot on 11.
Little high there, leaves a 6.
A little high, leaving the 9.
And you know, Spencer reminds me of Wesley Lowe a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he's not quite as smooth yet, but he's that really young guy developing a left-handed, two-handed, power game. And for those of you who don't know, Wesley was this last year's junior gold champion, and a young guy throwing it two hands. I like it. I like it a lot.
I do too. You really don't see that many two-handed lefties, but you don't see that many good. Like two-handed lefties are like iffy, especially in collegiate.
I only know of like 2.
He's the only one that I know.
See, I know Wesley, and then I'm also familiar with Team USA Cassidy Schaub.
Yes, that's true.
And he, but I actually got to meet Cassidy. He was bowling. We didn't really talk, but I mean, I said hi. He was bowling the. So okay, so it was kind of an informal meeting, but he bowled the great holiday doubles at Redbird over in Cahokia this year. So.
Right now, coming up on lane 12, looking to convert the 4-pin is Casey Gotel.
Last tournament's handicap victor.
We're going to have another replay here of Kyle Sherman. So it looks like it was this is as he had 4 in a row. So definitely a lot of big games look like it's being put up down there, as Riley and AJ have run back into him too.
When those guys get together.
Shot. Maybe it's just me, but it does look like the lanes have really opened up on 15 and 16. And what we mean by that is that it will hold for days and it's going to play like a house shot. So it's going to be a whack fest.
And all that does is make it easier to hit what you're looking at.
Yeah, because right now I'm looking down there. Kyle Sherman has the front 5. AJ Johnson has a open with the next 3. So that's a big score. It looks like Riley might be struggling a little bit, but other than that,
Riley's not doing too bad. I think from here it looks like he split count and then 2 or 3 in a row and a spare. So
that's true. It's for me. It's hard to see down there.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I need to get the binoculars that we had last time.
Those would be nice.
AJ gets the other one, so now he goes open next 4. So it definitely looks like 15 and 16 had opened up. As Mick Eaton on 5 goes flush, as Casey Gotel here up on the live stream. Kind of playing it more straight, coming a little bit light, leaving the 10 pin.
You know, Joey, what I'd really like to see, because I think I'm not mistaken in saying that AJ and Riley are probably going to make our top 8. I'd really like to see those two face off.
That would actually be really interesting to see. You know, most people watching saw last time that our final 4 was pretty much a McHenry-Lindenwood roll-off. And what I mean by that is Jeremy, that's who it was. Jeremy was the 4th seed. He beat number 1 seed Mick. And since he was the 8th seed, he would be the automatic 4th seed just because he's the 8th man. And he bowled Riley Smith the first game, beat him. Bowled Brad Sislevich the second game, beat him. And then barely lost to Philip Meyer. And Philip can thank that Brooklyn in the first ball in the 10th. There's Austin Aud in front of us right now, working on a 10-pin spare.
Ryan Patterson with a sick trip 4-9.
As Spencer Robar going through the face, leaving the 4-6-10. But still, as 11-year-old throwing the ball like that, that's good. Looking down, Kyle Sherman gets another one. That's the front 6 for him now. This is just, for Kyle right now, he's definitely in the top 3. And this is just going to be icing on the cake to try to get that number 1 seed.
No, but you mentioned Spencer. It's really awesome watching him throw the ball like this because I've bowled, you know, not in the same division, but I've watched Spencer grow through bowling, and he's actually from the Springfield area in Missouri, which has a relatively strong program.
Yeah.
But he used to throw the ball, as I was saying, back up two-handed, and he would run. He'd just launch himself at the line, and he would, like, look like he was just going to fly over the line. And then he would get himself back together, and then he would, like, post a shot and put his hands like he had thrown it one-handed, right-handed.
I wish there was a video of that so I could see it.
There's another bowler out there over on the West Coast by the name of Matt Jones. It's very similar to that. Matt Jones' unique two-handed delivery, and hey, if it scores, I am all for it.
Looking down on lane 5, Austin Aud getting the late 10-pin out for the convert, as Austin easily misses a 7-pin, as he's got an 88 in the 6, working in the handicap division. I think he'll make top 4, but lately it looks like he's starting to struggle a little bit. There's Donald Lee over on lane 2 there, getting the strike. Definitely trying to get a good game to bounce back from. Started struggling a little bit earlier, but now putting up some big games, as he's got 3 in a row, going in the 12th ball with a 153 in the 8th. So he's going to shoot a 200 game. Oh. It looked like Riley missed a 9-pin.
He did indeed.
Oh. But looks like Kyle Sherman's got the front 7 now. AJ Johnson has the open and 5 in a row.
They've definitely opened up the pattern down there.
Oh yeah. I would not mind to get my equipment and try to throw a couple shots on that.
Ben Pilardi right here in front of us. Doubled in the 10th. Looking like he's going to shoot a 230 if he gets count.
Ryan Patterson goes Brooklyn and gets the carry as he shoots 232. Looks like definitely some big scores in front of us right now. Like I just said, Ryan Patterson with a 232. Ben Pilardi, if he strikes, he'll shoot 231. If Armando punches out in the 10th, he's got 224. And then Korean Lieber would be the low person if she punches out for 191, which still ain't bad for a pair.
Pretty decent grind.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she's split twice.
It looked like AJ just left a 9-pin down there. So his straight comes to an end. As here's Ben Houston Johnson on lane 4. Kept it in a little bit, leaving the 3-pin. As Ben Pilardi in front of us goes through the heads, leaving the 4, 6, 7. That will finish it up. As we are just having handed standings here after game 4. First place is Ryan Patterson with a total of 878. Kyle Sherman is second with 869. Riley Smith third with 860. Fourth place is Mick Eaton with 851. Ben Pallardy is fifth, 834. Sixth place is Jared Joseph, 817. Seventh place is Armando with 810. And eighth place right now, AJ Johnson at 808. 4 pins behind him is Austin Aud at 804. And the next closest is Michaela Douglas at 782. So it's a little bit of a drop off between 9th and 10th. But we're in game 5. Definitely big scores can still be added. And I'm interested to see what happens. As I'm looking down as AJ just went 210. And it looked like Kyle Sherman's run came to an end.
Yeah. Kyle goes front 7 and then he 210s it looks like. But with the top 2 guys being Ryan Patterson and Kyle Sherman, Ryan just put up a 232, so it looks like he should eclipse that plus 100 mark. And Kyle with the front 7, even though he looks like he opened there in the A, should also pass that plus 100 mark.
It's going to be interesting, especially I feel like the guys that are in the top 2, let's say even the top 3, because we can even throw Riley up in there. I feel like if you qualify as the 8th, 7th, or the 6th guy, it's going to be a challenge. And the nice thing about the roll-off is that it's a 2-game total. It's not if you win one, you win one. Like, it's not best of 3, best of 5. It's the 2-game total. And that's what I feel like it gives an advantage towards people. Like, you can lose the first one, but you can come back out this next, like the second game, and still beat your guy.
And you know, I really like that all around, because with 2 games, there's no just getting lucky or one bad break really deciding it all. And for the guys who have had a good look all day, they have more of an advantage in the sense that, you know, they get to throw what they've been throwing. The longer the format, you know, the better the looks normally win. But then at the same time, that longer format means that
Kyle Sherman's 8th frame after working on the front 7. Definitely got that one out a little bit. Yep. It was the 210. Austin, actually, I do have handicap. I was just thinking about that. Actually, the more I'm looking at it, no, I do not. All I have here is, oh, wait, I do. They're just kind of close together. Let me go over the, what is this? The handicap division. In first place right now is Landon Richards with, including the handicap total, is at 886. Second place is Spencer Rogard at 878. Third place is Austin Easley at 856. And in fourth place is last month's champion, Casey Gotel. Following right behind her is Kyle Shimmer at 799. So there's a 49 pin difference between fourth and fifth in the handicap division, and in the scratch there's, I think it's like a 4 pin if I'm correct, at 808 to 804. Yeah. And we're gonna bring it back to the down to the low end here. It's kind of hard to tell, so we'll just keep it on the high end. Low end's just about to wrap up. Same with the high end. Austin Aud right in front of us, getting a 7 pin in the 11th frame after working on 3 in a row. Austin putting up another decent score. Yeah, he shot 199 the last game, but definitely made that 1 pin up. As if he spares this is a 224 game for him.
You know, Joey, I gotta say, my plus 10 guess was not looking so bad right now.
No, it's not. I think my negative 44 is looking pretty bad. And when I mean pretty bad, I mean like really bad.
That's not a bad thing. That just means people are bowling better than we
expected.
Thought they would. Yeah.
As Austin Aud will convert the 7 pin as he pulls out a 224 in the 10th frame. So going into game 6, it's going to be, I think it's going to be interesting because there's still, I feel like the top 4 are pretty much safe. Maybe if you could include the top 6, but I'm going to say Armando, AJ, Austin, and Michaela that could be a shootout in this last game. And I definitely feel like it'll be interesting.
Kayla Shimmer with a nice Brooklyn strike on lane 9.
There's Jared Joseph here in front of us, leaving the 136. Takes off the 1-3, so he just shoots 199. We're going to do another clip for you guys while we're waiting for Game 6 to start up.
300 isn't just a number. It is our destination. Shouting at a ball will make it strike more. Nothing is as satisfying as hurling dangerously heavy spheres at stationary objects and watching X's fill the frames. You know it, we know it. So here's to the ballers, the lane dwellers, the alley cats. A new breed is rising from the lanes. We are DV8. Tonight we bowl.
As that was a commercial there for DV8. Another little branch off of Brunswick. A lot of people actually enjoy throwing their equipment. I've never thrown any, but I definitely want to punch up a lot of their stuff.
If you want to know anything about DV8 bowling, all you need to do is call up Jason Woolham. He will happily.
Yeah, he will tell you everything.
Great staff member of theirs, and he and I bowl in a couple of leagues, and he has been on a tear lately.
Oh yeah. Another person I'd like to talk to is Brian Valenta. I know him from back home. Really good friends with him. A lot of people say when I actually shave my head, I look like him, so they call me Little BV. And I don't know if I should take that as a compliment sometimes.
If you're bowling like him, you should.
But very good bowler, I think. Well, looking at how he throws it two-handed, and he's the only guy I know that will purposely loft the ball 50 feet down the lane and strike. I kid you not. I saw him back home. There was a tournament he was bowling, and he walked up to me and my uncle, and he said, "I'm going to loft this ball about 45 feet down the lane and strike." He did it the first time. The guy said that he was bowling again said, must have did that by accident. Well, he did it 11 more times after that. So he shot 300 doing it. And the guy that he was bowling with was just frying out.
That is crazy.
So I got a kick out of it.
But I know Mr. Valenta has a couple of nice things on his resume. A few top 10 finishes at the U.S. Open, back-to-back intercollegiate singles champion.
Plus, there's an actual banner hanging of him up in St. Charles. He was part of the first team for the men's Lindenwood program to win back in 2005. And it'd be nice I'm hoping that this year that we could be a part of that.
And you know, that is the greatest honor that a bowler can ever be bestowed. Having a banner in St. Charles Lanes
I think it'd be. I like it. Just to even be a part of the team that finished third back in 2012. It was like one of those. It was a great feeling. Like the part of defeat sucked, but that's something I always look back and I think about. It's like, well, we could have made TVs. We were up 3-1 the Weber, but they came back and they bowled really good and they went on to beat Wichita in the finals. So they lose to the actual champions. It's not really like, oh man.
You don't have to sugarcoat it.
No.
I know you wanted to win.
Oh.
But I remember that team, and I've seen this team, and I believe that Lindenwood and McKendree and a couple other schools I know, it will be a big fight to see who edges out that national championship here coming up in April.
Oh yeah. Still probably the heavy favorites going into is Robert Morris, especially when you have Kyle King, Cameron Weir, but when you also have former Player of the Year, PBA player, runner-up in one of the patterns on TV.
Scorpion.
The Scorpion, Marshall Kent.
Yeah, Pocket 710 cost him. I don't think it actually would have counted as a title because he's not a member yet, but, you know, a win on the PBA
Still,
regardless.
I say a win on the I say even if you're not a member, a win on the tour is a win. Just give me the trophy and I'll be happy.
You have the trophy, you have the money. It's
all right. On our feature pair right now, as you see in front of us, on lanes 3 and 4, we have Brad Sislevich, Jared Joseph, and Austin Aud. Up on the lanes next to them, on lanes 5 and 6, is Ben Houston Johnson and Ben Pallardy, also with Armando. Looking down at the higher end, it looks like they're going to start getting ready here. We got Katie Eltridge is going to be over there. It's hard to tell who's actually all making the jump. I believe Ty Sexton is. And then also Landon Richards, who is leading in the handicap division right now. So another good, interesting set down on 11-12. But it's going to be an interesting shootout for the next for the bottom 4 in the scratch division. As Armando coming up on lane 6 with a beautiful shot. As for anyone, we're going to go right back to the booth cam for a quick second. I'm Joey Petzel. This is Brendan Pick. As he's not here right now, but Matt Turek is usually alongside. He's the one clicking all the buttons here, getting us all the replays as soon as we can. We are live here at Frontier Lanes here in O'Fallon, Missouri, where this is the third, I believe. Yes, this is the second MJT of this year. As last month we were at Kingpin. Coming up next month, April 13th, we will be at St. Charles Lanes. You can reserve your spots ahead of time by paying online at the MJT website, or you can give the money to myself or tournament director Ricky Masco, and we will reserve your spot. It is $50 for a early entry, $55 if you do a walk-in, and for anyone that is watching, which we actually have a decent amount of viewers, so we like to thank everyone that's watching. We are the bowlers here are bowling on the 39-foot pattern 2010 Masters, and I was expecting a lot of low scores. Brendan, on the other hand, wasn't. He was the only one out of me and Matt that actually picked that the cut was going to be plus. And I think you're probably going to be right about plus 10.
Yeah, I just from being the bowling nerd I am and watching the replay of the telecast last night and just seeing some of the guys who showed up this morning, I almost went a little higher, but I didn't want to, shoot too high. But I just watched Mr. Ben on lane 5 leave another one of those heartbreaking 8-pins. He is playing that two-handed style, but he's actually moved in. He's really nice and tight, not really giving up too many boards, and it is driving through the pocket.
It's going to be an interesting live pair, as you see on the low end. Down on lanes 1 and 2, we have Alan Holting, who is still trying to make a battle up into the top 8. But also we have Riley Smith, and A.J. Johnson is alongside with him also. As once we get more people towards the higher end, we will get back to the split screen. But we're still waiting for them to jump on to that pair, and then we'll let you know. I think Kyle Sherman will be on that pair. Actually, no, he'll be bowling next to it, so we'll find out once we get the stat, like once we get the who actually gets on that live pair. But there's AJ Johnson on lane 2, beautiful shot, getting all 10 back in the pit. In front of us, a little bit off the screen, as we said earlier, we have on lane 5 and 6, we have Ben Houston Johnson, Armando, Austin Aud, and Ben Pallardy. And then right in front of us, we have Kayla Shimmer, Abby Nix, and then Michaela Douglas. The 3 females are in front of us, and there's apparently a 4th. I don't know who it is, though, but we'll find out whenever they show up. Lanes 9 and 10, just a little bit off the live pair. We have Ryan Patterson, who is sitting first right now for the guys. Cassie Gotel, who is last month's MJT handicap champion, who's sitting 4th currently after game 4. Corrine Lieber is also there. And I believe Mick Eaton's also on that lane too. I think. Don't give me... Actually, yes, he is. No, he's not. He's walking away.
I think Mick was the lost bowler on 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hey Matt.
Been out of the booth for a little bit.
Yeah, we did a little booth cam and you weren't here.
What's the standings like now?
Right now, standings in first place is Ryan Patterson after 4 games with 878, and the cut right now is AJ Johnson at 810. But Austin Aud is at 808. Austin Aud is only 4 pins behind him with an 804. So
okay,
I'm looking at it right now. There's a possible 4-person shootout for the final 3 spots.
Well, as Mickey Eaton goes Brooklyn.
I'm trying to think. I'm gonna expect some big games. I'm looking around. We got multiple people. We actually have 4 people that I see with the front 3. One, like I said, 1 and 2 is gonna be a good pair. Allen with a 300 game going right now. Riley Smith with a 290. AJ with a 300.
Sounds great when you read max scores after 3 frames.
After 3 frames, and you can say the max score is 300 for most of these bowlers. Yeah, I'm gonna say it because it makes it sound, the statistics sound better. I forgot what TV show it was, where I think it was the Colbert Report, where he was talking to this one guy who wanted to be a person who'd like broadcast it, and he said something. It was like 63% of Americans say this, and the guy's like, really? And then he's like, actually, I just lied to you. And he's like, you think about this. You say a number that you say a little number like that, people will be like, okay. But if you say like 83%, people are going to be like, really? Show me the facts. And then you can't say anything like 43% because then that makes you look bad. So if you say a little bit over like 50%, you should be smooth sailing to where people won't question you. Alright, as you see now on the live pair, lanes 11 and 12 are starting to get people, so that's why the split screen's up. Ty Sexton is coming up on lane 11. Austin Aud, who is right now in the running for one of the top 8 spots, is up on lane 3.
Casey Gotel is trying to hold on to that spot in the handicap division. Started with a nice 4-pack.
We were just informed that I was mispronouncing Austin's last name. It's pronounced Audi.
Audi,
Audi, like the car now. So, okay, that's a little bit easier to remember. But here's Ty Sexton up on lane 11 after leaving the 1-2-8. Right, we're just looking at the live chat. Right now, the cut is 808 for the scratch, and for the handicap right now, it's at 848. That's including the handicap scores added into there. As here comes tournament leader right now for the handicap, Landon Richards, up on lane 11, going for the 610 and misses it. In front of us, Mick Eaton, wobble 9 after going 2 9 spares a strike and leaving the 9-pin. Ben Pallady in front of us, working on a 9 spare. As here comes Jared Joseph, up on lane 3, struggling a little bit right now. We're going 9 spare, 8 spare strike, and going back-to-back opens as he misses that one left, leaving the 1-3-6.
And you know, Jared is in contention for one of those 4 spots. I think he was on the inside, but
right now
he's going to need to right the ship if he wants to hold on to that spot.
Right now, he's sitting 6th place with 8-17. So I still consider him one of those bubbles. And once we get Game 5 standings, it'll be interesting. Like, if we go based off of this and it stays about the same, he's on the bubble. But once we get Game 5 standings, we'll definitely get those as soon as we can, and that's when we'll start seeing how many people are in the running, who pretty much is secured of a spot. Like, just looking at this right now, I'm going to say Ryan, Kyle, Riley, and Mick are pretty much guaranteed a spot in the top 8.
And
Unless last game they did tremendously bad, and they don't do so well this game either, but they're all bowling pretty consistent and pretty good.
And unfortunately, Jared did miss that spare, so he's
definitely put himself in a little bit of a hole, as he's got an 84 in the 6th. If he punches out, he can shoot 204. And if he can at least put 3 in a row up going into the 10th, it's a confidence boost. And even if he doesn't shoot 200, that's still, it's a lot better than what the game could turn out to be. As Armando in front of us on lane 6, coming high, leaving the 4.679. Kind of saw that a little bit up on the screen. As Riley Smith coming light, leaving the 3-pin. As Katie Eltridge gets a strike up on lane 11. As Ben Houston Johnson goes Brooklyn, as he's got a 9-spare, 9-spare, 3 in a row. And actually, he was sitting 11th after game 4, so he could be in contention depending on what his last game was. So expect a possible big run out of him. Riley Smith going for the 3-pin, converts it cleanly. Looking down at the end, AJ Johnson had 4 in a row, 9 spare, so he's on a 279 pace also. Ben Pallardy.
Messengers out the 10-pin.
Get that little roll to kick out that 10-pin. There's Ryan Patterson on lane 10. He's throwing the ball so good today. There's a reason why he's been one of the top bowlers. As we have an interesting guest sitting next to us.
Look who it is.
The producer itself, Ricky Masco.
How you doing, guys?
How are you doing?
Oh, I am stress level 0 right now.
A lot better than last time?
It's going about as good as it was before, but you know, I mean, I don't think any tournament director can say they had a tournament go 100% smoothly for them, so it's not a big deal, but it's good. We got Brendan in the commentating right now, and I think he's doing a pretty good job. I'm listening to you guys in the tournament office, and
someone did ask.
Yeah.
The no age limit. What day in May was that?
May 18th.
May 18th.
Brunswick Zone, Chesterfield. As of right now, they have us down for 20 lanes, which means 80 spots max. But it's a 40-lane center, and with it being 40 lanes, I'm sure that they could open up if we fill the squad up. So
yeah.
We are accepting deposits for all tournaments. We have them up on MJTbowling.com.
Okay.
And so anybody can get on there, and not only is the May 18th, but then June 29th at Plaza Lanes is also.
Oh, I like seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool.
We're going to do a quick replay here of Casey Bell, the front 5, working on 6 in a row on this shot. Looks good. A little flat 10.
But still, though, had a 279 pace. That's pretty good for Game 6. That's a good way to end it.
Unfortunately, she did miss a 10-pin, though.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, after Game 4, she was 4th place. Are you taking the top 4?
Top 4 for handicap, top 8 for Scratch Division.
Because that's what we were going off of from what we did last time.
And then the interesting part of it is we have 9 entries today for Handicap Division, which means the top 3 get paid. So that first match is going to be a little crucial to win because that's the difference between a payday and not having a payday. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
As you see on the screen right now, Casey Gotel up on lane 10, getting a little right, leaving the 1, 2, 4, and 8. As Katie Eltridge going for the PBA washout, and only takes off the 1, 2, 4.
But Ryan Patterson, he's having quite a day, isn't he?
He's throwing the ball very good today.
That new IQ Tour Fusion,
we were looking at him and Kyle were pretty much going back and forth pretty much all day, and it'd be very interesting to see those two matched up in the roll-off.
Definitely would be. Yeah, that'll be I'm telling you what, this step ladder is going to be really interesting to see because, I mean, looking at the scores from the 2010, I kind of did a little research on it, and initially we were on 2013 USBC Masters, which was 5 mils more, a couple of feet longer, and a little bit lower ratio. And then I looked at this one, and it's actually less mils, a little bit more ratio at 2 to 1, and that's a shame. Casey picks up the spare but fouls. But we were going off of it, and I was thinking the 2013 Masters with the ratio and everything was going to play a little less scoring. But then I came to find out the cut was like 5 pins less in 2010 than it was in 2013.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Brendan was watching the videos of the actual telecast, and Walter Ray, he only bowled 2 games, but he went, what was it?
258, 290.
Walter Ray, though. Come on. What did Walter Ray not score?
Now, granted, there were some scoring oddities in that tournament. For instance, Tom Smallwood, this was before, or this was actually right after he had just won his first title, the World Championship. He finished in the top 10, but you know the Masters cuts the top 64, and then they go into the bracket.
Yep.
For the entire tournament, he only averaged 210.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is that these kids today will actually make the cut in that one. If you excuse me, guys, I gotta attend to some tournament business.
That's okay.
All right, thank you.
As Ricky's gonna leave the booth for a little bit. Coming up on lane 3, Austin Odd, as Bratislevich is up on lane 4. Getting in a little light, getting the carry. As we're gonna get a replay here of one of Ryan Patterson's shots. So Ryan Patterson right now putting a very, very nice game. It's a beautiful shot. It's like you were saying, Brandon, it's the new IQ ball that's out, and definitely looks pretty good.
Yeah, I know. My team over at Lindenwood Belleville has a nice mix of equipment, but the old IQ Tour and the new Fusion are both very popular. I've seen those go down the lane a couple of times.
I said Austin Odd on lane 3, missing right, leaving the wash up, but it's the last ball, so he will finish off with a. So once we get a 187. As Justin Schlager finishes off with a 196 on lane 4. Right in front of us is Mick Eaton.
He is struggling a little bit.
Struggling a little bit, making the 7 spare. But we look on the live pair. Ty Sexton up on lane 11. As Crane Lieber on 10, coming a little high, leaving the 4 pin.
Kyle Sherman has a nice little string going again down there on, I believe that's 13 and 14. Looks like spare open, and then he righted the ship in 5 in a row.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Looks like he's gonna step up, coming high through the face. It looks like he left a 3 pin, so looked like 4 or 5 in a row, like you said, and then continued on from there.
Well, Kyle, I apologize for the jinx, my friend.
At least it wasn't the Lucas Wiseman jinx, where if you have like the front 9 and then he watches you and then you leave a 10 pin.
It's all right. What I really think happened is Joey jinxed the whole field, mentioning that 63% of them had a chance to shoot 300. It was.
Okay, that's pushing the number too high. Ricky Masco sits back with us.
I apologize about that, guys.
No problem. That's understandable. As Armando up on lane 6, leaving a light 7. Looking at the scores and how they're playing out, do you feel like the pace was higher or lower than what you were expecting?
Most definitely higher. Most definitely. I thought this was going to be the first MJT in a while that had a negative cut.
Yeah, I was predicting negative 44 was going to be 8th place.
Yeah, but I knew off the first ball it was going to be a little higher than I thought, because I could definitely see some motion going with some people that I definitely did not think was going to be out there, especially with the low ratio and the higher volume. I mean, it's still 25, which is a decent amount, so I would have thought that it would have played a little bit. But the way that it goes, it's. I mean, I'm fine with it. I mean, these kids are out here making shots. I mean, don't let the high scores fool you. That.
Yeah. What was interesting is that I had negative 44, Matt had negative 10, and Brendan was the only one that went plus with negative 10. No, plus 10. So.
I was 2 pins off after 4 games. So.
And I really think that you'll be fine. You'll probably be the closest. You and Matt. I
feel like if I get it on the nose, somebody around here should buy me lunch.
I think that should happen. I don't know if anyone has. And actually, the first one ever that we had at Plaza Lanes last year, Ricky got right on the nose.
That's awesome.
As looking in front of us right now, Ben Pallardy has 5 in a row working on the 11th frame with a 94 in the 5th. Mick Eden in front of us, though, working on an 8 spare, has a 112 in the 7th, so it's a... He's in 4th place after 4. He's still up there, but unless there's any big games, I don't see him really dropping out of the bottom, the top 8.
All right, if you look over to lane 1 and 2 for a sec, look more up at the score, but we have that's the Riley AJ pairing, and AJ started off the day with a solid, very solid 267, and if I'm not mistaken, it looks like he can punch for 221. But after 4, he had fallen right into that mix into 8th. Do you think he holds it, Joey?
Depending on how his last game was, I think he's going to be down there. And I personally think you might have called it. We might see a Riley versus AJ
or a
stepladder.
Ryan Patterson also
or,
goes to McHenry.
Or Ryan Patterson.
And a Ryan
yes.
Patterson AJ Johnson first match would be very intriguing.
That would be interesting. And what I like about the stepladder is, especially watching AJ gives a lot of emotion when he bowls stepladder. He lets his emotions show. And I personally enjoy watching that because it intrigues me more to the match. And but if you're bowling up against something like that, it's like, okay, well, if you're going to do that, I'm going to get loud right back.
Well, it's actually really funny because before I met AJ at McHenry, I witnessed him bowl the North Point tournament down when Junior Gold North Point was out in Las Vegas. That was the year before the two organizations merged. A heck of a strike on lane 7, paralyzing the 7 for Mr. McEaton.
Yeah, but he apparently fouled on that shot.
Oh,
so
no.
That's a disappointment.
But, yeah, I witnessed AJ bowling the North Point tournament in Vegas, and Kyle Sherman and AJ were both bowling in separate semifinal matches to move on to the finals, and it was really funny to watch because AJ was really intense. He was getting really loud. He was, bowled a great game. Unfortunately, neither one of them won, but Kyle was really solemn. He was really quiet, and it was just really odd to watch these two both excel in this huge national tournament but act so differently.
Oh, yeah.
Neither one was negative, just different.
Yeah. Well, it's just like the one match that was with Dom Barrett versus Sean Rash. Sean was letting his emotions show while Dom was just going up there being all calm and cool. And then he celebrated a little bit earlier thinking he won the match. And then he realized, oh, I need 8. But wrapping up in front of us on the low end, Ben Housing Johnson finishes with a 209. Armando punches out in the 10th for a 190. Looking down on the low end, Riley Smith finishes with a 177. AJ Johnson right now has a double going in the 11th with a 161 in the 8th. There was a 256 game that was put up by Ryan Patterson, so I'm thinking Ryan's going to be our number 1 seed going into the roll-off as AJ trips out the 7. We'll put it on his last shot here. We'll bring up the split screen so we can see it. As he's going to be walking up to his finish of the last ball here in the 10th, up on lane 2. If he gets this, it will be a 221 game for AJ Johnson, and I think that will definitely help him getting into the bubble. As Matt Turek has joined us back in the booth.
I'm back.
Had fun running around doing all your replays?
Yeah, I tried to get some good strings, and I seemed to crush everybody's strings when I got on them, but I took some good still pictures. Those pictures, for those of you that are watching or parents at home, all those still pictures will be on the MJT Facebook page here probably tonight, if I can get them up there. I've taken quite a few, so if you got a son or a daughter out here bowling and you want a good picture of them, I'm trying to get some pretty good still photos of everybody bowling.
Let's say right now we are starting to wrap up here after Game 6. Once we get standings, we will let you guys know who made the roll-off for scratch, and then we will let you know who the final 4 are for the handicap division. And when it comes to the roll-off in the handicap division, it's 4 versus 3, winner of that versus 2, the winner of that versus 1. As before we go, I'm handing standings here, and we have there's a disqualification with Jared Joseph. Not really sure why, but right now we'll say the top 8 with the disqualification out of there. Kyle Sherman right now was first after 5 with a total of 11:20. Ryan Patterson second with 11:10. Ben Pallardy was third with 10:62. Riley Smith was fourth at 10:57. Armando was in fifth with 10:34. Austin Aud was sixth at 10:28. AJ Johnson was seventh at 10:19. And in ninth place was Mick Eaton at 9:98. I'm kind of really interested to see why.
I would like to know too.
There was a disqualification.
I wonder if we can get Ricky after the break to talk about that.
Definitely be interesting to see what happens, but it looked like Jared finished off with a 138, but it looked like he didn't finish his 10th though. As
Ricky, tournament director Ricky here.
Ricky is.
I'd like to jump in and say a couple things.
He's going to sit down next to us, and before he speaks, I'm going to actually do the handicap standings. After 5 games, Landon Richards is still in first with a handicap total of 1098. In second place is Spencer Robarge with a total of 1063. Austin Easley is third with 1036. And in fourth place is Cassie Gotel with 1029, but 8 pins behind her is Kayla Shimmer, so she's making a run to try to sneak into that top 4.
So I wanted to address the DQ situation.
Yeah, we were kind of...
Unfortunately, as a tournament director, you have to decide tough decisions. And in our meeting, we always stress that any actions, hitting a ball return, kicking ball return, punching, any equipment, we like to maintain a professional environment.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not tolerated with the Midwestern Junior tournaments. That acts as your warning. If you do it once, it's out, you're out, and it's unfortunate, but it had to be done.
That's okay. Because we saw the DQ, we weren't sure what it was, so that's why we were curious offhand.
Yeah,
so.
and I mean it's never good. I mean I don't like to do anything like that, but I mean it's one of those you can't call a bluff type of thing. You can't say it and then someone kicks a ball return and then you can't enforce. You have to enforce it. So
well, that's understandable.
Unfortunately, that's what we had to do.
It's understandable, but rules are rules is what people have to obey by.
Exactly, and I mean, it will show a lesson that it provides an example. That we run a professional tournament here, and we expect these bowlers 21 and under. They have to learn that it's a professional environment.
Absolutely.
But if you're at that level where you're frying out and you feel like you need to do that, you probably don't want to be out here anyway.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, after that, we're gonna probably wrap up this the 6 games qualifying. We're gonna do a couple more videos for you guys to watch. And once we find out standings for the top 6 and the top 8 in scratch, and when we announce the final 4 for the handicap, we will do so. So we will be right back in a little bit.
Introducing the brand new Track MX-10. The MX class is designed specifically for those with medium rev rates. Medium rev players need more help from the bowling ball than those with higher rev rates, but they need less than those with lower rev rates. That's why we've wrapped the brand new mid-response 6 hybrid cover around the MX-10. This MR6 hybrid cover creates the perfect amount of mid-lane while creating the big back-end reaction that bowlers love to see. The MX-10 also features our face core. The face core has an RG of 2.50, an overall differential of 0.049, and an intermediate differential of 0.010. Our drilling data shows that pin-up layouts can increase the overall flare potential by 5%, providing a more aggressive reaction at the back end. Pin-down layouts can reduce the overall flare potential, providing a much smoother reaction at the back end as well. Our first bowler is Zach Brown. Zach is going to match up best with our MX class due to the rev rate being in the medium class range. For Zach, we wanted to go for a layout that will allow him to curve the ball a bit more while giving him more control at the back end. This layout puts the pin down below his fingers and 4.5 inches from his PAP. Zach gets just what he's looking for out of the MX-10. Easy length through the front with a strong mid-lane reaction and continuous movement at the back end. Our second bowler is Andy Klein. Andy falls into that medium rev rate category as well. Andy wanted his MX-10 to be cleaner through the front with an aggressive move at the break point and back end. The MX-10 is a perfect match as it is designed to do exactly what Andy is looking for. We drilled his with a pin above his ring finger, which puts the pin 5 inches from his PAP. This pin-up layout will enhance the natural characteristics of the MX-10. Next up, we have Dave Roberts, who falls in our lower rev rate category. Dave generally prefers a ball from the LX class, but there will be times when the LX class is too much performance. This is when Dave needs to step down to the MX class for something that is cleaner through the front and stores more energy for the back. For Dave's MX-10, we chose a pin-up layout which puts the pin 4 3/4 inches from his PAP. This is ideal for Dave as his lower rev rate requires more reaction at the back end of the lane. Next we have Mitch Beasley, who falls into our higher rev rate category. Mitch will generally prefer a ball from our HX class, but there will be times when he needs a bit more hook than the HX class offers. For Mitch, we chose a layout which places the pin above his middle finger, which puts it 5 inches to his PAP. This pin-up layout allows Mitch to play the MX-10 fairly straight through the front part of the lane, allowing for an aggressive reaction at the break point. Our last bowler is track brand manager Rich Hansen. Since Rich's rev rate is even higher yet, we needed to tame down the MX-10 a bit. We went with a pin-down layout which puts the pin 5 inches to his PAP. This layout still offers the length through the front that Rich needs, but allows the MX-10 to read the mid-lane strong enough to create more control at the back end. For more information about the brand new Track MX-10 or any of our other great products, please visit us at trackbowling.com. To keep up with what's going on socially with Track, make sure you like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.